Up all night. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
The concurrent resolution, as amended, is considered agreed to.
The Senate passes a budget blueprint just before 5 in the morning.
Senate Republicans may have cleared one hurdle by passing this skinny budget resolution, but they still have several obstacles ahead. The Senate's budget blueprint focuses on the border, energy, and the military. They want to focus on tax cuts in a second bill. Democrats try to make the process as painful as possible for Republicans by forcing them to take tough votes on a number of amendments, including on Medicaid. But in the end, all they could really do was slow the GOP's roll, as they did not have the votes to block the measure. Passing a budget resolution is the first step to unlocking the reconciliation process, which allows Republicans to pass spending legislation with a simple majority. In order to use the procedure, though, the Senate and the House must approve the same budget framework, and therein lies the rub, as the House favors one massive bill.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. President Trump called into Fox News Radio's The Brian Kilmeade Show this morning, among other things, talking about negotiations to end the Russia-Ukraine war, with nobody so far representing Ukraine's President Zelensky.
That should never have been a war. And all those dead people shouldn't be dead, and all those cities shouldn't be demolished right now. So when Zelensky said, he wasn't invited to a meeting, I mean, it wasn't a priority because he did such a bad job in negotiating so far.
He's called Zelensky a dictator after Zelensky accuses him of spreading Russian disinformation. Undocumented migrants are sent back to Venezuela following detention at the U.S. naval base in Cuba.
177 being housed at the base were flown to Honduras using a U.S. government aircraft and were then transferred to a Venezuelan airline at the request of Venezuela's socialist president, Nicolas Maduro, who requested their repatriation, claiming their detention in Gitmo was unjust. Eben Brown, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The Arctic door is still wide open, but we're getting ready to close it on this Friday afternoon. Sunshine and 28. 15, partly cloudy tonight. Saturday, sunny. Cold morning. A touch better Saturday afternoon. 38. 27 Saturday night. And Sunday, sunny and 52. Monday and Tuesday, sunshine. High temperatures near 60. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, homeowners, it seems as if everybody who wanted to sell their home last year is finally starting to take action now. If you're ready to sell, I strongly recommend you call my friend and St. Louis real estate expert, Gloria Liu, with your home sold guaranteed realty. Mark Cox here. Why should Gloria be your first call? Well, let's ask the O'Neill family. Gloria sold their home for $30,000 over list price. Or the Krupp family. Gloria sold their home over one weekend for $25,000 over asking price. Or maybe the Cox family, who received multiple offers and sold for $20,000 over the list price, which, by the way, was the highest sales price for the subdivision ever. You get my point. Not every home sells over list price, but one thing is for sure. Gloria Liu is going to get you the most money possible for your home, and she'll guarantee your agreed-upon price. Call her today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Friday. It's always nice to be able to say that, isn't it? We appreciate you being with us here at 12:07. My understanding is that there might be some more executive orders signed during our show today.
This is the rumor, but I don't know much about them. I've heard that.
You don't know what they would be
No,
on?
but I've heard that fact, and that's it.
It just keeps coming. Every day we get to talk about new good things. And one of my favorite pastimes anymore is talking to all of you fine people. If I'm out and about, if you mention listening to the show, every one of you says, what's it like to go to work these days? And it's just like, it's completely better. What's it like for you to go to work in sales for vacuums? And you're like, it's better. Everybody, it doesn't matter what you do. Of course, if you're on the air talking about politics every day, things are just feeling better. But the simple fact that Donald Trump has made good on so many promises so far is gives me confidence that 1 month in now, we are 1 month into Donald Trump's presidency. He has 3 years and 11 months left.
If we're to take this month and extrapolate that over 4 years, are we actually fulfilling the promise of being tired of winning by then that he made in his first term?
I think it's a non-starter. I don't think that the suggestion that I could ever be tired of winning is an accurate assessment. I will never be tired.
These are the academic discussions I like having with you.
You ever see? Thank you. You said it in that voice. It was the bologna.
The smart one?
No, it was the bologna sausage voice.
That one doesn't exist.
On opening day, especially here in St. Louis, it's a celebration. It should be a city-wide, county-wide, whatever-wide holiday. We should all be able to sit down and take in baseball in unity and then pick a St. Louis Cardinal that's playing currently.
Okay. Nolan Arenado.
Good one.
Thank you.
I'm rooting for him this year. Big time. Nolan Arenado hits 2 home runs in opening day.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first. That's what's going to happen. I feel like Donald Trump's first month, when it comes to law of averages, undoubtedly, the people on the broadcast are going to say, well, Nolan Arenado is on pace to hit, what would 162 times 2 be?
No, I get you.
Home runs this year.
Yeah.
324. Is that right? 150? 300. I think I'm going to go with that. 384?
I'm right there.
Math.
324.
324 is right the first time.
Yeah.
If Nolan Arenado keeps up this pace, he'll be hitting 324 home runs for the worldwide record of most home runs hit in like 6 years combined. So does the law of averages mean that this is, all right, hit them hard and hit them fast? When we were speaking with Hogan Gidley earlier this week, he was talking about how, oh no, it's gonna keep coming. It's gonna keep pushing. But, naturally you'd have to think that things are gonna slow down a little bit. I would assume that, to our YouTube poll question for today, if you hear the president or the people surrounding him in the administration suggesting things like, well, the president's ultimate goal is to abolish the IRS, which we heard yesterday. Was it from Lutnick that we heard it from yesterday? Yep. That if his ultimate goal is to tariff the rest of the world into the ERS, the External Revenue Service, to replace the Internal Revenue Service that you and I pay into, that the sooner you can get that done, the better you can kind of iron out the wrinkles, because I'm going to assume there are going to be some wrinkles.
Yeah.
So the question to you today is, do you support abolishing the IRS? The answer opportunities for you today is yes, no, or need more information. And I don't very often give you the ability to waffle.
Thank you for this.
I usually want a yes or a no answer. But until the end of maybe I'm thinking we're going to take phone calls on this in the next segment, 12:25. So get by your phone, get ready, put this number in your phone right now and just save it, 97.1. This is how you call Annie, 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. In the next segment, not right now, in the next segment, I'm curious of your thoughts on this. Maybe you can persuade me to be a yes or a no by the end of the segment or the show today. But I'm a need more info person right now.
I'm actually mad at you for putting this middle option today.
Because you wanted to be able to say, well, I would say.
No, because there are so many days where I want to say, well, today's not one of them. I have a strong feeling today.
What is it?
You want me to tell you now?
Of course, it's yes.
It is a hard yes.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about this question.
Advocate.
Well, no matter what it looks like, if we're actually able to abolish the IRS, it's not going to be done in a haphazard way. It's got to be done smart.
What if it is?
I don't think there's a way for it to be done that way. So even if his plan to bring in the External Revenue Service and be raising money for the federal government comes through tariffs, and that looks like it's not quite matching up. I still say in that scenario, you know what's still okay, though? Getting rid of the IRS. I'm really okay with it in any circumstance.
Well, I decided to unblock the phones right now, and we can start getting people in line. My intention is to take your phone calls at 12:25. Depending on how many we get here very quickly, I might squeeze one in before the break. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or need more information? Ryan, unlike you, I am a very cautious person.
Okay.
I like to analyze, and I like to understand, and I like to grasp, and be able to therefore explain why. And I am not at the place right now where I can say, this is why we need to abolish the IRS, because I know that there are things that need to be funded. I know there are things that we collectively, as a country, come together to fund. I can think of three things. The first being defense. The second being infrastructure. And the third being a system where we have an honoring of contracts that exist between two people to make sure that the law is equally and fairly applied. So we need to have a justice system that is in place and is funded to make sure that we have a fair understanding of our laws and that they are applied equally to all members of our country, all citizens of our country. Those are, in my opinion, the three forms, the three responsible advocacies of government. Those are the things we have to come together to do because we cannot successfully do them on our own.
While I agree with you, I think those three are really the most essential forms, especially of the federal government. The way to get there is to defund the federal government. So getting rid of income tax and thereby getting rid of the IRS, to me, is the quickest route to getting government back on track to do those things.
And I don't think any of that happens without Doge.
I don't either.
First, I always refer to it, it's the most vivid visual analogy I can think of, is a garden that was once beautiful that is completely overtaken in weeds. Do you ever do any weeding in your garden? This is a literal sense.
Yes, actually I do. I don't have a garden, but yeah, I do
But
weed eat.
like maybe
Yeah.
in the driveway or whatever. Do you know the difference between, Brad, you've done lawn care, but
Yeah.
do you know the difference between pulling a weed that has deep roots but comes right out?
Yeah.
That's a satisfying feeling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or a little teeny tiny weed that has deep sprawling roots, and you pull and you pull and you pull, and it just comes off at the surface because the root base still is there.
Yep.
And then in a week, you got a snotty little weed sticking back up out of the ground again. That's super annoying. That's a swamp.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of these initial things, these weeds that come, I should ask my mom to give me the Latin name of the weeds that are easy to pull, because my mom is a master gardener and a nerd, and she'll be like, oh, that's Latimus catorsis or something like that. I probably said something offensive there.
No. You
If
didn't.
I did.
Satisfactory.
And well, you did because it's Latinx.
You just go into, and then when you get to walk away from that garden that has been restored and maybe isn't blossoming and beautiful yet, but it's ready to. That is a refreshing feeling, especially if you hate doing that work and you put in the time and you gave the opportunity for the right things to grow. It's not like you're not growing anything in your garden again, like we were talking about defense and infrastructure and the justice system. It's not like you're refusing to let that garden do what it's supposed to do, but you're like, you can't succeed in these things when the weeds have taken over. What about you, Brad, when it comes to this YouTube live chat poll question? People are calling in right now, 314-241-9797. I'm definitely going to take at least one phone call before we go to a break because we only have one line left to be open. So get in line right now. Brad, your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are Ryan's wrong. Wow. We should not abolish the IRS.
I expected this.
I mean,
Did you?
Yes.
I know why you want to,
He braced himself.
and I like why you like this. Like, if we moved away from any sort of, if we just got rid of
actually
any,
like you as a person.
Brad just
I do too.
basically said to you, that's cute.
Yeah.
you
Pat in my
want,
head.
You want to get rid of income tax. Am I understanding you correctly?
I am not going to frame my argument at all. You just do what you need to do.
Okay, well, fine. I don't think that we can get rid of income tax, but I think that we can definitely move to a flat tax, and a flat tax means that we still need a smaller, less bloated version of the IRS to handle it, because what is it? Ted Cruz always talks about the little postcard and you just fill it out and you send it in. I made this much money. X amount of this much money is my taxes. That goes to the government. You just need enough people to process it for it to matter.
And Brad makes, sorry, Ryan, a good point that the question is asking for the abolishment of the IRS. There is nobody listening to this radio station right now who's like, the IRS is the best thing we have going. Well, maybe. You know,
I thought that was your position, no?
I'm not sure. I need more info.
It might be.
Yeah, by the end of the show, that might be it. I mean, like, I heart IRS.
The callers are going to be full pro IRS. They might change your mind.
So we're all on different perspectives here. Everybody raise your hand if you think the IRS needs to minimum be reformed. Yes. Big, emphatic.
Big, yeah, me.
2 hands going over. Yeah, exactly. I think we all agree about this, but we're hearing from the administration the words that they're choosing to say is that they're looking to abolish the IRS.
I love it. I love it.
And what a world that we get to have this conversation.
Oh, what a world. What a world.
No, that was 4 years, the last 4 years. All right. I do have a full board of phones. Let me get to 2 quick phone calls here. If I don't get to you, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to take phone calls in the entire next segment. We love to be able to do this on Fridays and bring you into the conversation. So your goal here when you call in, I'm going to ask you the question. Your goal is going to be to persuade me, because I got 2 people in here that I respect. Well,
no respect. No respect. No respect.
Who's she waffling on, right?
She looked at me.
No, I was looking at Martha. Or that's not
McCallum?
Martha.
But
Sandra.
We know you respect her.
I do.
Yeah, we already knew that.
I have 2 people in here that I respect, and I know that they have differing opinions, and I like both of their opinions. So it's your opportunity to persuade me to agree with you. The question is, do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you too need more info. Let's start here with Tom. Looks like he's in St. Charles. What do you think, Tom? Go ahead.
I think no. I think that DOJ definitely needs to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I think that some things need to be changed, yes, but to get rid of it, I mean, this has been around. Tax collectors have been around forever.
No, boy, we lost Tom, but he's a no. But he definitely, like us, definitely wants to see great reform.
I don't think
You know,
Brad
Jesus-
liked his argument,
you know,
and he cut him off.
That was Brad.
That was not Brad.
That would have been you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was agreeing with
I mean,
me.
that was
yeah.
me.
Tom,
I
thank you
cut him
for the
off.
phone call. Sorry we lost you there. Let's get to Vince. Vince, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS?
Yes, I do. I agree with Ryan, and I love you guys. I listen to you guys as much as I can.
Thank you,
But
Vince.
the only problem is this is a Donald Trump idea. I'm just wondering how many people out there, since they hate Donald Trump, are going to say, and those are the people who don't like it, you know.
Mm-hmm. I don't think
So
it
those
matters
are the-
now because he won.
I know it does, but all the Democrats out there, all the left wingers are going to be going, "Oh well, we can't do that,"
Yeah.
just because it was Donald Trump's idea.
Vince, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you for listening, and we love that you were able to spend some time with us. I am really in favor of the Democrats being the party that's like super pro IRS.
I was
and
getting ready to
hates
say
cutting
the
taxes.
same thing.
Like the
yeah.
more that Trump can manage to get the lefties out there. Do we have the Jasmine Crockett clip in here somewhere? I haven't looked at the sheet yet. Let's see if we can get that, because this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She's talking about the $5,000 payments that are going to come back. She was on The View when she was saying it, and she's like, We're not the party of handing out money. And I'm like, you certainly are.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And she's like, $5,000. What's that going to do for anybody? And I'm like, do you know who your voters are?
Gosh.
Because they're so reflexively in. I just hate Donald Trump so bad. I'm going to say the opposite. Look what Trump is doing to them.
Yeah.
The winning feels good. All right, I've got Tom, John, Jonathan, and Paul. We're going to get to your phone calls first when we come back. I have 2 lines open, and we're going to take a super, super fast break. So if you want to give us a call and tell us, do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you too, like me, need more information. Here's the number to call. Get in line, 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. We're a phone call away, and we love to have a chat with you on a Friday afternoon. We'll be right back.
All night. You gotta find
This is the Annie Fry Show.
the ones that make you feel whole. They won't leave
The
your
Annie Fry
side when
Show
you lose
is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and
the ones that
subscribe.
won't let you lose your soul. You gotta find your people.
The Dittamore Group, they're online at thedittamore.com. Oh, man, Tammy is such a wonderful person. She has a great organization in her office there, 50-plus years of experience. It's nice to be able to work with people buying and selling your home that are representing you, that are at the forefront of the market. They understand everything that's going on, and they are your advocate when you aren't there to make sure that you get the best possible deal done in the right amount of time. If you are even thinking about listing your home, I want you to contact the Dittamore Group. They have people who work in Missouri and Illinois alike. They are the #1 team in the #1 office in the Metro East. I want to make sure that you understand how well they are respected within their community. Of course, RE/MAX Alliance is a very strong group, and they are very well respected. But the Dittamore Group has the top success in this area, in the Metro East, and they are ready to put their team to work for you. Reach out to them directly to buy or sell your home, 618-531-4652, 618-531-4652. It's the Dittamore Group, online at thedittamore.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
SLU men's basketball is here Saturday at 1:30 on 97.1 FM Talk. SLU versus Rhode Island, both looking to break out into the top of the conference late in the season. Tune in for the Billikens game at 1:30, pregame starting at 1:15.
Living in this big blue world with my head up in outer space. I know I'll be A-OK. I know I'll be A-OK.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I know I'll be A-OK. I know I'll be A-OK. Hey little lady, I know you're feeling crazy. All your other friends are busy making them babies. Been out in the real world, don't like how it's tasting. Let me change your mind with my little old saying. 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? Put some sugar in my water, cause we making Minute Maid. Forget all the hate, do a shimmy shake. Put the pedal to the metal on the interstate. Living in this big new world.
Right now has a 53% approval rating. It's higher than it's ever been. 70% believe that he's fulfilling his promises, and 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. What do you take away? I think there's a lot to make of those numbers, but what's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is just like the election. We've got to do better at education. People don't understand, but you will understand when those hospitals in rural America start closing down even more. You will understand when you don't have your Social Security. You will understand when your Medicaid, your Medicare goes away. You will understand as planes continue to fall out of the sky. Soon you will understand why it's important to maybe have somebody that isn't loud and ridiculous, and maybe Sleepy Joe is what we wanted because we could at least sleep at night.
So, Jasmine Crockett there, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, taking you to church on why we miss Joe Biden so much. She thinks that Sleepy Joe Biden was good because that's how we got to sleep at night.
Oh.
I never really thought about it that way.
I didn't understand anything she was talking about.
I also didn't sleep well at night.
I didn't have a great night last night either.
Well, I was fine last night, but not during Joe Biden's tenure. A lot of things to worry about that are still obviously. It's like we've been doing this for a month. Joe Biden's presidency was based on all the things that he claimed that Donald Trump ruined in the years leading up to when he took over. And then at that same point, it was like, well, we inherited a mess, and it takes time to fix these things up. And the Democrats and Jasmine Crockett are like, but what about the price of eggs? He's been president for 30 days. It's like, does he get 2 months? No, doesn't sound like he does.
I also like that her solution is basically, we need to just educate people better. We are losing control of the message, and that is the main problem.
Well, what she's really saying there is the people who don't agree with us are too stupid to understand. And what America said in November is, somebody's stupid here, and it's not us. All right, we're a question for you today on the YouTube live chat poll, but also for phone calls. We've got a full bank of phones, so we're going to get through these quickly, but try to get everybody's thoughts in on this question. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you need more information. Ryan, you are a...
full yes.
Brad?
I'm a no.
And I need more information. So you can
kind of works out well, doesn't it?
We didn't plan it either. It's almost like we did, but we didn't. 314-241-9797 if you want to squeeze into an open line once they open up. We're going to start with Tom here. Tom, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think? Should we support, or do you support abolishing the IRS?
Get it out of here. Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go. And I hope Trump and Musk are right now loading up the mother of all bombs on Air Force One and get rid of it. I mean, the reason that I think they're going to have to replace it with something, but it's completely weaponized. It is as corrupt as any organization in the government. So it's got to go. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
I appreciate the phone call, Tom. He's with you. He says, get it out of here, in a quote. Let's get to Michael. Michael, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on abolishing the IRS?
I think I need more information, mostly because I think I heard President Trump say something to the effect that, taxes, sales taxes, and that might go up to about 25%. I'm on Social Security. I get a set income, and to add up to 25% to everything I purchase could be devastating to me.
That's a good point. If you go to a consumption tax or kind of what Brad was, right, a flat tax, or is it a flat tax is everybody pays the same percentage. A fair tax is a consumption tax?
A consumption
That's
tax.
exactly correct.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I think you make a great point, and one that we hadn't really discussed. If you do go to a consumption tax, and I like the idea of a consumption tax, but I am also still making money. And if I still have the ability to go out and make money and my paycheck gets bigger, and the consumption tax goes up, I can balance out the income versus the outgoing money there. If you're on a fixed income, different story.
This is going to be no surprise. I am also a hard no on a national sales tax. This was a Herman Cain thing. Remember him?
Yeah.
I know, because the minute that comes in, whether it's just like, it'll just be 0.5%.
How do we fund our military?
The tariffs is what he's suggesting.
Yeah, but how do you think we fund our military?
I think the tariffs. I think what he's saying is we go back to a pre-1912 model. And whether that works now, I don't know. But I am willing to go down that road.
All right, let's keep going with the phone calls here. We've got one line open, 314-241-9797. Jonathan, do you support abolishing the IRS?
Oh yeah, slash it. Get it out of here. Yeah, I'm all about going back like pre-1912. Back then when things needed funded, they would create temporary taxes to fund it. If something's worth doing, people will volunteer to do it. Right now the IRS is just legalized extortion. You know what I mean? We're going to take this at the threat of violence or the threat of imprisonment or confiscation. And that's in my heart morally wrong. So yeah, get rid of it. If there's shortcomings in the federal budget, if there's things where taxes fall short, then address that. That's where the wrinkles get ironed out. If it's a temporary taxation on something to raise funds for something, work through that. The tariffs are going to balance out.
Yeah.
There'll be years where we have high revenue from tariffs and years where there's lower. So let's try it.
All right, Jonathan. I appreciate the phone call. He's saying like Joseph did, save when it's good. You're prepared when it's bad.
7 scrawny cows are ahead. Now we better save up.
Let's not go into a congressional metaphor of what that means. Let's just keep going with Paul here. Paul, do you support abolishing the IRS?
You betcha. Let's get rid of it, but let's replace it with a flat tax. I think if you put that out there for everybody, they'll say, okay, if everybody's paying the same, I'll get on board. I think if you're going to get everybody on board, that's the option you have to give them. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet, Paul. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. I don't like how much people are agreeing with Ryan just on principle. It doesn't really matter the subject matter.
Actually, I think he was sort of agreeing with Brad there, even if in theory he was suggesting
you would need a different service
than
the IRS to process the payments.
Trump's just going to it's going to be his name. He's just going to rename it.
The Trump service?
No, I'd name it the Biden service if they're taking your money.
Or whoever the next Democrat candidate is.
Bob, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS?
Well, I'm pretty realistic. I'm a Trump guy, first of all. But abolishing the income tax, going to a flat tax is never going to happen. You got to go. Let's say you got a guy that makes $200,000 a year and you got a guy that makes $30,000 a year. They both got to eat. So if they eat this, let's say they eat the same. Well, it's so regressive because the guy that eats the same is going to pay half of his income on food, where the guy that makes $200,000 a year pays a negligible amount for food. So it's too regressive.
If it's a flat tax, a flat tax would fix that, right?
No, a flat tax causes it.
How?
like I say, if I'm poor and I say I spend $15,000 a year on food, that's half my income. If I make $200,000 a year and I pay the same exact flat tax on food, I don't care about it.
A flat tax is a percentage of your income that you pay. Now, if you make $30,000 a year and that's not enough to feed you, you have to go find out how to make more money. Also, it'll kill the housing industry. A lot of people that buy houses, whether they're a $300,000 house or $1 million house, love taking those deductions on their interest on their house. A flat tax, boom, that's gone, and that's going to crush the housing industry. Well, I think that the idea of having it be more equitable across the board, if you pay a flat tax and you've got a $30,000 income and a $200,000 income in your example there, the person who pays the flat tax on their $200,000 income is putting a lot more money in the system than the $30,000 income. If they buy more. A flat tax is a tax. A flat tax is a tax that's based on your income. So it's saying that depending, we've got 3 people in this room right now. We've all got spouses who work. We have differing incomes. We would all pay 8%. So the person in this room, the household in this room that makes the most money is still going to pay 8% of their household income, and their 8% is going to be a bigger pile of money than somebody who makes less, but they're all going to be paying 8%. That's what the flat tax is. I kind of, and maybe it's me, I kind of disagree with you. Okay. A flat tax, like a sales tax, a flat tax is, let's say everybody pays 18% sales tax. It's not sales tax though. That's a different thing. That's a consumption tax versus a tax that goes in on your income. Anything you guys want to add before I get to the next one?
I think when you say flat tax, you're talking almost exclusively about income tax,
flat
not
tax
sales
is
tax.
A flat income tax.
Yeah.
You guys stop talking.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Bob was still there. I think Bob might be gone.
I let Bob go.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of calls to get to here. Paul, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you want to abolish the IRS?
No. And the reason is, let's keep the IRS. And I hate to say it, but I agree with Brad. If we go to
no, that's
Brad
okay.
Doesn't get that very
that's
often.
okay.
No, that's the first time.
Sorry, Brad.
No worries.
But if we go to a flat tax, which is okay, but let's use that to pay down the deficit. We've got to get rid of this deficit somehow.
Yeah.
And, that's a way to do it. But we're going to need some sort of IRS to run all this. And I think if Trump gets his way, he's going to completely gut it and rebuild it.
But it still exists.
Yes.
And this is the way Trump works, in my opinion. He guts it like you're saying, Paul. He rebuilds it and he renames it, and it still has the intent of what the IRS,
right.
The spirit of what the IRS should have been, but it's a brand new thing, and he gets to say he abolished the IRS.
And there's only one other thing.
Okay.
Jasmine Crockett. She's a whack job. She's the one that needs the education.
I got more from her. Don't go away, Paul. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening to the call. Brad, sorry, shots fired your way.
Paul, we're going to try to get you on The View. Is that okay?
Listen,
he's gone.
Paul agreed with me. He just said, I hate to agree with me. And you know what?
You're taking that. That's a win.
I take the W. That's also the first time that anybody's like, I hate to agree with Brad. That wasn't Ryan.
Tyler, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you would like some more information?
Yeah, I would love to do it, but the problem is you guys are only touching on one part of the tax code. You're missing corporate taxes, death taxes, capital gains taxes. There's way more than just income tax. So the IRS has kind of built itself up to be too large to fail at this point, which sucks because I would love to get rid of it, but there's a lot more coming in than just income tax. If we could all do our taxes on a postcard, that'd be wonderful. But that's only a percentage of the population. You got all these corporations and all these other entities that are making money outside of an quote-unquote income that have to be dealt with. So it would take at least 2 or 3. Maybe if we get J.D. Vance in there for 2 terms, maybe by the end of that, the tax code could be rewritten to abolish, quote-unquote, abolish the IRS. But I would love to see it, but it's too big to fail at this point. There's too many things coming in other than just your income tax.
So you got me. I'm not sure. The question is just simply, do you support abolishing the IRS? You've given us you've given us ways and things that would need to happen in order to do that. The question being, do you support it? Yes or no?
I would love to see it.
Okay.
But I don't think it's possible.
I understand. I think that's a smart answer. Thank you for the call, Tyler. I appreciate you. John, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you want more information? John, are you there? John, I hear you in your car. You're listening to the radio, maybe. Maybe
In
you've got
about
us on
6
hold.
seconds, he's going to go, oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk to John? Do you want to wait John out?
John, it's just you and me right now. Let's have a discussion. You know, the points that you were about to make, I already agree with them. So just go ahead.
Thank you for your call.
All right. Thanks, John.
Sorry, Kent. Kent, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS, yes or no? Or need more info?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see that happen. And I thought back when we started our country, didn't we have a thing called the Boston Tea Party where we had some issue about paying taxes to begin with?
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we should use the tariffs, no matter what we get. That should pay for our country, you know. And I think the Americans should be able to enjoy living, you know, without forking out all our money.
Kent, you and I agree completely.
Mm-hmm.
So you say get rid of it. Get rid of the IRS.
Absolutely.
Ken, thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no sweat. I love your show.
Thank you so much. Tom, I don't know. Should we take this one, Ryan? Tom, go ahead. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or need more info?
I want to say yes.
Yeah?
But I agree with Brad.
Do you confidently agree with Brad? Are you happy about agreeing with Brad, or does it hurt inside like the last call?
I like it. Brad and I get along.
Brad, you feel neutral now?
My man.
You're good. So what do you think?
I think it was the caller Paul that said something. You know, we still got to do something about the national debt. And I had an idea that you know those like roundup for breast cancer or whatever at the register every sale you make. You know, make it voluntary or make it mandatory, one or the other. But if there were a roundup for the national debt nationwide all the time, I mean, I don't know how much money those things make.
Yeah.
In an organization, but it's got to be pretty good. And if it were nationwide, I mean, I don't know. That seems like it would make a dent anyway.
I appreciate the phone call, Tom. I think that's interesting, especially if you had a live, like the debt clock, if you had a live tracker, if you added a line on there that calculated it in essential real time, the people who round up 37 cents to help pay down the national debt. When you can show people immediate results, people respond to that.
I like the out-of-the-box thinking.
Yeah, I do too.
But the roundup thing, I mean, especially if you're getting rid of the penny, which is what they said they're going to do.
Ooh.
You round up, go back to cash, pay an even amount. You don't have to worry about it. I think that thing would be a huge success.
Mr. Trump? Somebody tell Will Shark. Okay, I got two more phone calls to get to here real quick. Rick, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you support abolishing the IRS?
Annie, I cannot support abolishing the IRS. I don't care what you call it, internal revenue service or external revenue service. It's going to be a revenue service one way or the other. You're going to have to collect every form of tax that you've got out there, and somebody needs to make sure it's collected. And I agree with Brad, but I don't like the flat tax because it is also an income-based tax that requires voluntary reporting. And the whole reason for the IRS is because some people don't voluntarily report their income. So, you know, you've got to have a watchdog on whatever mechanism you've got for collecting tax in this country. And I think we do a lot better following along the lines of a consumption tax that would at least put the discretion for whether you pay or not in the hands of the taxpayer to the extent that they buy things that are not necessary. Let's put it that way.
What do you do?
I realize that could.
I was going to say, what do you do with a consumption tax to our previous caller for people who are on a fixed income? That would be quite a shocker.
Well, the ideas that have been floated in the past have been to make an allowance to individuals that would be the equivalent of a standard deduction, if you will, for all taxpayers, essentially giving them a refund, if you will, an advance payment back for taxes that they would have to pay to cover them for a basic level of goods and services that they would have to buy on a regular basis.
So just to be clear, because it's really, at the end of the day, what we care about here, who was right, Ryan or Brad?
Well, Ryan is definitely not right. He's speaking from sentiment. He is. Ryan is emotionally charged about this business with the IRS because
look how stone cold his face is right now.
It's the people who feel like they're targets of the IRS that are the ones who resist it and object to it the most. So if you look at the IRS as somebody that's got a responsibility to fairly collect the taxes that are out there, and if the taxes are simple enough that you can figure them without making mistakes yourself or being penalized if you do, then you're less likely to be afraid of the IRS, I think.
All right, Rick, you've said all you need to say. We appreciate you, especially Ryan. Ryan, he knows his stuff. I think he's a smart man.
Here's what we need to do.
I got one call left to get.
We got to get rid of the income tax.
And Rick.
And you get rid of the income tax, and then you don't have to worry about a lot of those fairness issues.
Yeah.
But you do have to have some sort of agency that would oversee bringing in business and corporate taxes, because that still would have to exist. And it would go up with the tariff thing because you have so many businesses moving here that it would hopefully offset the amount you lose from the income tax. Does that sound emotional to you, Rick?
I don't know. He just thinks you're a little high.
It sounds like he just agreed with me.
Let's go to Joe. One last call before we take a break. Joe, do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes or no, or you need more info?
For the regular American people, go to the postcard idea, but the corporate's going to have to stay the way it is.
And you need an IRS to do that?
Yep.
Yep.
Can I make a quick comment on IP reform?
Well, we're not really talking about it. You can make a quick comment, but we're going to take a break then after that.
Just do a initiative petition that says all lobbyists get 10 years in prison, and IP reform will be passed within a week.
All right, Joe. Thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. The whole idea of abolishing the IRS is a huge, huge idea. And you can't do massive reform on the inside of the IRS and make it what it needs to be, I don't think, without casting a wider net than massive reform. So we shall see. Go vote in the poll. YouTube live chat poll. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you need more information. Ryan's ready to get rid of it yesterday. Brad, very sensibly and in a thought-out way, says, no, we can't do that. And I still need more information, but you guys are pretty persuasive. Get on the YouTube live chat poll, vote. Leave us a comment there if you weren't able to get in on the phone calls. We'll highlight some of those throughout the course of the show. Our favorite, The Bee or Not the Bee, with Ryan Wiggins. Very, very emotional Ryan Wiggins. Next.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
CiviaLaw.com is the website. We're going to have Todd Civia in the 2 o'clock hour right at the beginning to play some X's and O's. Haven't been able to do that for a while, and we can't wait to get Todd in here. Todd did the trust for my husband and for myself. He walked us through all of these different scenarios. He asked us questions. We gave him answers. His staff is amazing. When you reach out to Civia Law to help you with your estate planning needs, you call him directly, 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, and talk to him about what you're looking for. Maybe it's complicated. Maybe you've got some in-laws or outlaws in your family. Maybe you've got some kids that you trust with certain things wholeheartedly and others that you love dearly but maybe trust a little bit less. All of these situations, you can insulate yourself, your estate, and everything that you want to have after your passing, or maybe one of you passes. Todd can walk you through all of that, and he is absolutely wonderful, thorough, and helpful at it. 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. He's on both sides of the river as well. You can reach out to him and book an appointment today. Schedule your strategy session at CiviaLaw.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 is excited to welcome Brian Kilmeade back to St. Louis.
Hi, everyone. Brian Kilmeade here. I have great news. I'm going to be joining all of you in St. Louis.
Be a part of this event.
March 22nd, St. Louis. You're going to love it.
Get tickets at briankilmeade.com. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The bee or not the bee.
Sorry, you guys. These articles are going to be a little emotional today.
Like unusual.
Oh, man.
We're really, I said to Ryan off air, I said, you were told you were wrong, and then you were called emotional, and then I said, now you know what it's like to be a woman.
And then I just laughed and kind of fanned myself a little bit because I was blushing.
It's not really.
These articles are either fake from the Babylon Bee and satire, or they are real. I'll read the headlines. You tell me which is which. First one, Elon Musk cuts off Social Security benefits for thousands of Revolutionary War veterans.
Say it again.
Elon Musk cuts off Social Security benefits for thousands of Revolutionary War veterans.
There's a key word in there, and I'm saying it's the bee.
Yeah. There's a key word in there. It's Musk, and I'm going to say it's the bee.
Yeah, you got to pay close attention. Quote, it is the bee. Yeah, there you go. Quote, how dare he take away the benefits we earned with our blood, said 270-year-old Arthur Breckinridge, who fought in the Battle of Yorktown in 1781. It's only because of men like me that this South African fellow had a chance to come to this country and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Now we find out he's cutting off our Social Security. How are we supposed to live?
When you said South African, I got nervous. I'm like, what are we talking about? And then I was like, oh, yeah,
Elon
it's
Musk.
It's an African-American.
That's right. All right, next one. Woman posts pic of her dinner for the benefit of friends who've never seen spaghetti.
Oh, this is tough.
I'm going to say real.
Yeah, I'm leaning real on this one as well.
It's the bee.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Quote, wow, that's crazy. I've never seen noodles with sauce on them before, said Denise Lowe as she scrolled Linton's Instagram feed. I'm so glad Julie posted this pic of, what do you call it again? Spaghetti?
Oh, Russell says, Annie, are you saying Ryan is being dramatic? I am now. Do people still post food? That's kind of like an old thing. Don't you know? Like, it used to be social media. Everybody posts pictures of themselves now. It used to be that you would post, there would be food pictures all the time.
That's a good question. I guess I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't see it very much.
You're right. At Publishing Time, Linton had posted pictures of her dessert.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting we should go back to that either. So
I'm not either, except that sometimes I'm in a restaurant and I'm like, ooh, I want people to see what this food looks like.
My husband makes great white chicken chili. I love white chicken chili. And so it's, have you ever had white chicken chili? Yes,
Yeah,
Brad,
yeah.
Ryan?
It might have been at your house.
Maybe. That's right. On the top of it, he'll put like cilantro, sour cream.
So it looks pretty.
Cheese, red onion, something else. And it's so pretty. And I actually do have pictures of it, but I don't think that anyone else cares. That's the difference.
You know what else is very pretty to look at?
Brad.
Sushi.
Oh.
No, not Brad.
What about frushi?
Frushi also. Yeah, it's something you could have at your anniversary. Maybe.
Coming up on how many years? 6? 7? 7?
I'm not sure.
7.
I don't keep track. I'm the guy in the relationship.
I don't have to respond.
Shots fired kind of day.
I just don't have to respond to that. Everybody knows.
Microsoft digs so deep in computing tech that they discover new state of matter.
Real.
This is real. The question is whether or not it's just PR, though. On Wednesday, Microsoft announced an update to the physical constraints of the universe. Microsoft now says it's created a new state of matter in its quest to make a powerful machine called a quantum computer that they call, well, they say, solid, liquid, and gas, no more. It is now also, there is a topological qubit.
Man, if you can't pronounce the words, can I be honest about this story?
Yes, you can.
It sounds like it could have great implications, but it's so far over my head from the beginning. I'm like, well, I guess they do those things. I don't.
I know.
Like, if I see that headline, I'm like, oh, this is for smart people.
I tried to read into the science of this, and it was like the author decided, you're not worthy of the science of this.
Yeah, we're going to get him in the first paragraph, but watch this in the second paragraph, and you're like...
There's nothing. That's why I'm like, is this real? There's apparently a topological qubit that matter can exist in now, whatever that means.
That's outrageous.
Yep, if it's real.
How does it make you feel?
Emotional.
In what emotion?
Fear. And also elation.
Loathing.
Next one. This one is my favorite one of the week, I promise you. Jobs report shows skyrocketing unemployment among lizard people.
I think this is obviously the B.
This one might be the B.
I feel like this one's the B.
Yeah, but here's why it's my favorite, is because to make matters worse, the now unemployed lizard people have discovered that their impressive resumes filled with years of covert machinations make them overqualified for other jobs. Quote, they said I should look for something more suitable for my skills, said lizard person Quovord Ackernon.
How would anyone know?
Curse you, Elon Musk. And that is why it's my favorite one of the week. We have time for one more?
Oh, yeah.
Possibly two. Here we go. Welsh Secretary of State promises toughest ever crackdown on kitchen knives.
Welsh?
Secretary of State, Welsh.
Oh.
No. It's the Welsh Secretary of State. It's
Oh.
not a Secretary of State named Welsh.
Well, I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
Real, I'm panicking.
Yeah, I think this is real.
This is real. She tweeted out in Wales, too many young lives have been lost to knife crime. That's why this Labour government is taking action with the toughest ever restrictions on online knife sales, closing loopholes and keeping dangerous weapons off our streets.
I support this because we should ban everything that's killing people. Pretty soon we'll just be around slapping each other, and we'll realize how stupid the initial argument was.
You ban hands.
Yes. Cut them off.
Yeah,
but
there's a
with
loophole
what?
in our knife laws that allow for hands.
Yeah, you got to close the knife show loophole.
Are you...
Yeah.
Is the last one you're going to share the one I sent you?
No, I didn't share that one because
I'm going to skip your last one. Well, go ahead. Give us another minute, Brad. Sorry.
Okay.
Just make it happen.
You want to do that one?
Well, I have it up here. I was
Oh,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Yeah. It's very funny.
Delta adds a little hanging tennis ball to end of runway for female pilots.
Yeah.
To which I just sent it to Ryan on Facebook, to which Ryan replies to me. This is really the great part of this conversation. Ha. This is what Ryan said to me. So again, the headline, Delta adds a little hanging tennis ball to end of runway for female pilots. Ryan says back to me in a message, ha, Brad sent me this yesterday and wondered whether you'd think it was funny or not.
That's not what I said. I said, I triple dog dare you.
Because you weren't sure whether she'd react offended or laugh.
Well, my concern actually wasn't about would it offend Annie. It was more like, is this in bad taste because of the Rex?
Oh, I misinterpreted.
Yeah, you just automatically assumed that I was going to be too emotional and sensitive, when meanwhile Brad was being sensitive to the news of the day.
Yeah.
And you fumbled that bag.
I said, ha, girls. And he didn't know why I was saying that. He just walked out.
Oh, I knew
and
why.
I think Delta adds a little hanging tennis ball to end of runway for female pilots is hilarious.
It also reminds me, I kind of want to add a little hanging tennis ball in our garage.
For who?
Like, mainly my wife.
Oh, no, you don't.
I kind of do.
Has she ever hit anything?
Never...
Stop it. Don't answer that question. We got to go to a break. Ask us anything in the YouTube live chat. Questions. Answer the poll. We'll be right back.
It's time again for the annual Apache Village RV Trade Day. Hook up your camper and join us Friday, February 28th and Saturday, March 1st in Hazelwood at 1901 Dunn Road or Wentzville at 971 Wilmer Road for a kids' s'more bar, warm drinks, and free trade evaluation. We guarantee $1,000 over the national average with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. Up to 25% off MSRP. Prices will never be better. Spring camping is right around the corner. Check out all of our new 2025 Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors inventory. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance at $500 to our parts store. Our commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Again, we guarantee $1,000 over the national average with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, February 28th and March 1st. Trade value dependent on condition of unit and time of delivery.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is happy. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. President Trump praising the Senate for their all-nighter and the work of Senate Leader John Thune to pass a budget blueprint to fund the Trump agenda. Next stop, the House. And the president tells Fox's Brian Kilmeade he hopes they work quickly.
There's great unity. We have great unity in the party.
Right.
The House is great, and the Senate is great. We have fantastic unity. And I think it's going to go good.
President Trump says he doesn't care how many bills are passed as long as they get to the same point. Fox's Chad Pergram on the Senate version.
This is a budget blueprint. This kind of sets the table for Senate Republicans to forge ahead with their approach to pass President Trump's policy agenda. This package focuses on border security, beefing up the military, and energy production. Notably, the president said he preferred what the House plan is. It's a little more comprehensive because it includes tax cuts. But what has happened, the Senate is ahead in the process here. Again, this sets the stage to do this. The House, they're going to try to do their version of the bill next week. It's unclear if they have the votes. We don't know whether or not the House of Representatives can approve anything, let alone sync up with the Senate. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said that this was a non-starter.
Fox's Chad Pergram says the House will get to work next week. Meet the new director. Attorney General Pam Bondi will swear in former federal prosecutor Kash Patel as director of the FBI this afternoon.
Kash Patel has promised to make changes, including sending more employees out of Washington into field offices across the country. He also promised more transparency. He said in a statement, "My mission as director is clear. Let good cops be cops and rebuild the trust in the FBI. Working alongside the dedicated men and women of the Bureau and our partners, we will rebuild an FBI the American people can be proud of. And to those who seek to harm Americans, consider this your warning. We will hunt you down in every corner of this planet."
Fox's David Spunt. America is listening to Fox News.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The Arctic door is still wide open, but we're getting ready to close it on this Friday afternoon. Sunshine and 28. 15, partly cloudy tonight. Saturday, sunny. Cold morning. A touch better Saturday afternoon. 38. 27 Saturday night. And Sunday, sunny and 52. Monday and Tuesday, sunshine. High temperatures near 60. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
And a lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up, play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports, and as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes, and those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet Store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet Store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Did you all hear what's going on with these energy mandates? You know, I've been told they don't make a lot of sense, and I'm in the business. I agree 100%. Actually, they make 0 sense. So here's the easiest thing, and the only thing I have on a recommendation. You're going to need a new furnace or a new air conditioner. Just call me for a just common sense approach to your heating and cooling needs for your house. If your system is old or you just want to replace a system, now just call me. It's Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest and the only one, Missouri and Illinois, is 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Get tickets and info at livenation.com. Daryl Hall, Stiefel Theater, March 30th. Sesanta, Primus, Pucifer, A Perfect Circle, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, May 29th. Simple Minds, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, June 5th. And Rod Stewart, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, August 15th.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
Submit your favorite fish fry at 971talk.com/events. We're taking the show on the road every Friday during Lent, and we're looking for suggestions. It's Fish Fry Fridays on The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today is a happening one, and we need your thoughts on it. Took a lot of phone calls in the first hour on this question. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, or you want some more information? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and the way you find that is youtube.com/@AnnieFry. If you pull up the YouTube app on your phone, type in Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, you'll see we're broadcasting live right now. And when you click on that live broadcast, you're going to see the live chat option. That's where the poll is, which is why we call it the YouTube live chat poll. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes or no? Ryan, just to sum up the last hour, your thoughts on this question specifically, especially considering a lot of people who called in agreed with you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I am a yes on this, and I am a yes more in theory than in practicality because there are a lot of questions, which is why I think there's the answer, need more info. But I am all in on yes because to me, the ends justify the means with getting rid of income tax, personal income tax. As callers brought up, there are ways to still use an agency to monitor business taxes. But to me, the IRS and income tax, personal income tax, are inextricably linked, and getting rid of one means getting rid of the other.
Brad?
I'm still a no, and that's because, as a lot of our callers have brought up, that you still need an agency to collect and enforce these tax laws. I'm a proponent of the flat tax on the income tax. You know, everybody fills out the postcard. One of our callers said, hey, you need some sort of enforcement mechanism because people won't self-report. That's cool. That's what an IRS would do, but it wouldn't have to be as big and as complicated as it is now. So yes, but in a reduced form.
I still feel like I need more info, but I think I'm leaning Brad right now.
Don't care for that.
Let's put that on the shelf right now. Get your comments in and let us know what you think on that. I'm real quick say JB said yes, they are as corrupt as the other alphabet agencies. Mark said yes, tear it down and develop a flat tax in true Doge fashion. We did get a message from a listener who reminded us that if there is a consumption tax that was implemented, one of those phone callers said that, hey, listen, I'm on a fixed income, and if I'm going to start having to pay 25% more on everything that I consume, I don't know how I afford that. In the implementation of a consumption tax, just like right now when you go to the grocery store and you're filling your cart up with food and goods and, like sanitary items, cleaning house, I don't know all of the things that are exempt from tax, but you don't pay sales tax on food right now. So I think that's an interesting thought that a listener sent me that I was like, well, that does actually significantly influence my thought on that consumption tax. But how do you afford the rest of it? I don't know. I would also suggest that if this is what we have to do to make Social Security solvent, then maybe the preservation of a government that's not way over its head in debt can actually sustain Social Security. But I don't know if that fixes the guy's problem right now. That might help my problem in 30 years, but not that guy's. Chris said taxes would have to be 100% automatic for the IRS to go away, which is kind of how you do a sales tax, I assume. And Vicky said, I'm a yes, actually a yes 100%. So keep your questions coming in. We would love to hear more from you and get your thoughts on this one. I wanted to shift gears here and tee this up for Brad and Ryan as well. I am, of course, female, but I am raising a young man. And I think that when it comes to watching what the Barack Obama-led Hope and Change, complete and total social and cultural revolution that they have successfully implemented, and how much it has affected young men who have grown up in this society, I'm very grateful that my son, who is 15 right now, is getting to have his most formative years in a time where the culture isn't hating men so much. Let's listen to J.D. Vance here talk about masculinity at CPAC.
Ask me, my message to young men is I think that our culture sends a message to young men that you should suppress every masculine urge. You should try to cast aside your family. You should try to suppress what makes you a young man in the first place. And I think that my message to young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. It's... Our message, the cultural message, and I think the president's and mine is the exact opposite, but our cultural message is, I think that it wants to turn everybody, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
So listening to J.D. Vance there, I'm not going to preface a question to you at all. I'm going to ask you as men what your thoughts are on what he just said there. Brad, you definitely work with youth as a youth pastor. Ryan, you're raising two sons. From your perspective as a man, Ryan, what does it mean to you to hear the Vice President of the United States speak that way, especially knowing he's our age?
It's fantastic to hear this coming from a real leader in the United States, because there are people who've been saying this for a long time. It's not as if there's been no counterculture message, which is what this is right now. It's a countercultural message. There are great thought leaders in America who have been saying this for the last decade. Before that, you didn't really need to say it, but for the last decade, you have. to hear him as the Vice President of the United States asserting that not only is this true, we're acting based on this being true, and also don't let anybody tell you that it's not. You can disagree, but what he's saying is you can disagree with this. This is America, but you're wrong. And, and we're going to be acting based on these premises. And it is just refreshing to get back to the basics. And J.D. Vance is actually very good at that. He's a really good spokesperson for these cultural issues.
Brad?
I'll tell you what I love about it is that you've got somebody like J.D. Vance who is basically living what he is speaking there. He's talking about, like, if there was somebody that I would like my son to grow up to be like, it would be J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance didn't allow the excuses of his upbringing to allow him to turn out to be anything other than a bad person or anything other than what he was destined to be. What's great about him is and I remember watching the inauguration when they were swearing him in, I saw a still photo of his mom staring at him as he was being sworn in as the Vice President of the United States, and there was nothing but pride and admiration in her eyes. J.D. Vance has grown up to be that man to espouse the masculinity that we've been talking about. And being the vice president, he provides that counterweight to the vacuum that was created and these other men, quote unquote men, that have come in and basically are selling a version of it that is distorted and is just as bad as the crazy feminist stuff on the other side. There's men that have come in and they're speaking into our young men's lives with nonsense, distorted versions of what masculinity are. And what we need as a culture is to push both of those views out and get back to what J.D. Vance was just talking about right there. And I am so excited to have the Vice President of the United States not only espouse those views, but to live those views and be a great example of those views.
As a mother, I'm always I don't know if you're here yet, Ryan. You're probably not with your kids. But I'm thinking of how my kids would be as spouses. And, especially with my son being 15, I'm 3 years away from maybe losing him in my home. And then he goes out into the world and, like, at that point, it's like, my husband and I will obviously always be there for him. But at that point, you gotta, I've pre-programmed you with the full amount of lessons. I say for the record. Every time I'm saying I mean my husband and me. But he's not here. We pre-program him with a foundation that we want to be his reference point when anything comes up. And for our family, that's our faith. That's our Christian faith. That's why I invest, which is a true sacrifice for our family, to invest in a private education that includes Jesus in lessons, because that's important to us. Now, if you have a different faith and you prioritize your faith, then I understand and respect why you would invest in that foundation being broader than just what mom and dad tell you. That's why we go to church. This whole foundation that we set for them, a firm foundation, so that when they're no longer at home with us and we're not literally supervising the challenges that they face, that the reference point that they go back to is a solid, firm foundation. The scary is kind of, I don't know if that's the right word, but the incredibly intimidating thing about that understanding is that if you know anything, if you are if you're a Christian person, what you understand to be true is that firm foundation, by virtue of needing to have that firm foundation, if you have a faith walk or whatever, you're going to know that the whole intent of the worldly world is going to constantly try to challenge him and push him off of that solid foundation. And it's not popular, nor is it trendy, to be outwardly rooted in your faith. And that everything that the world is throwing at you, whether it's things to challenge the calmness and the soundness of your mind, if it's sex, which is everywhere and thrown into the faces of our young people. And I know a lot of people think immediately, and I'm saying the words out loud, so earmuffs, little kids, but pornography that is out there that is reaching in to poison the minds of young men, middle-aged men, and old men. there is an equivalent that is reaching into the telephones that your daughters are holding, the screens that your daughters are seeing, the social life that your daughters are having. I mean, it's all the same kind of poison. And it's all there to rip you away from the firm foundation that's been planted inside of you. You pray and pray and pray that when they are out of the house, that firm foundation is the thing that stands. Even if they hate your guts because you didn't give them the money that they want or the situation, the setup that they want, that firm foundation is there. The things that I hear J.D. Vance talking about, they're not only biblical things, but they're not biblical things. And I think that the very baseline jackhammer that the Obama mentality put towards this line of thinking was to socially reconstruct everything you know to be true so that you wouldn't challenge it publicly. That it becomes so hateful to suggest things that are by traditional nature your own values, that, okay, while you have those values, you better not talk about them. You better not put them out there. Because if you do, we're coming at you hard. And we will cancel you. We will end you. We will make sure everybody understands the bigot that you are. And they went the hardest at white men because that was the only way that they could upend the whole system. Traditional values value men, and truly, in the way that traditional values value men, it respects women because it uplifts the family. And you can't have that as a societal norm. You cannot have the furtherance of society without family and procreation. When you hear J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, with not an ounce or speck of fear in his voice, say, men need to be men. Men need to understand that they need to not be afraid of this anymore. We are talking culture now. We are not talking politics. And culture dictates politics. Culture is first. And right now, you have a whole host of young men who are tired of being told to sit down and shut up, tired of suppressing their natural instincts as testosterone-laden men. This is the thing that frustrates me the most. The fact that they've been told to sit down and shut up about it doesn't stop the testosterone level in their body from happening and from influencing. You can't stop that from happening. What these people need to be taught, what these XY chromosome humans need to be taught, is how to be a man about it. Not how to be a savage Neanderthal who has all these urges. And I mean, quite honestly, if you've got a sexual urge, whatever it is, you should fulfill it, because if it feels good for you, then you should go there. You need to be taught how to be a man that commands respect by giving respect, a man that understands how to treat a woman who knows how to self-respect and respect the men in her life and the women in her life, and to uphold those same sorts of foundational basics that keep a successful procreating society alive. Like, we are craving in our society men. And when I hear J.D. Vance talking about it, that permits, in our minds, not governmentally or legally, that permits people to go, did you hear what J.D. Vance said? Did you hear what he said about masculinity? And then the people next to you go, yeah, it was great. But you're whispering. But at least you're talking. And once those conversations start happening, we can get back to the place where, we've had conversations on the show about toxic masculinity before. I do believe that there is toxic masculinity, but when I say toxic masculinity, I'm talking about the greasy, slick guys who walk up and think that because they're a man, they're going to insert themselves into your life in a way that is just going to dictate things. And no, that's not how it works. Real, raw, strong masculinity is incredibly potent, and it moves the ball down the field. And that's what causes women to gain strength. We have purpose through one another. And there is a natural order to things that I will say it this way. In the midst of all of the opportunities that exist, I'm not saying there's only one right way, but I am telling you that the people who have been living of the traditional lifestyle or the traditional values have been told that they don't get to exist. They are excluded. They are not included. The inclusivity of diversity does not include heterosexual Christian white men. Until now, it's back. And I'm so happy to hear J.D. Vance talking about it as a mother who wants to make sure that my son is growing up in a culture, in a society where he is taught to be a respectful man. And I'm happy to hear you guys say, too, from your perspective, because it's obviously different than mine, that this has been absent, and it's really good to hear.
What's shocking about this is that I think America has just assumed, maybe the whole Western world, has assumed for the last 30, 40, maybe even longer than that years, that the inevitable march of culture was constantly away from these things. Nobody thought it was possible to return to some of these things culturally. And we are in the midst of, and we're, a month in? People thought, well, maybe during Trump's first term, we're starting to hit on it. But we didn't quite get there, and then you saw it all regress for 4 years. It all went away. And now you're going, wait a minute. This is bigger than just politics. Mm-hmm. That's why, you play this, is because it's not just J.D. Vance, vice president. It's J.D. Vance, the dad, J.D. Vance, huge platform, talking to men culturally. Nobody thought we could get back to this place. And the people who've been waiting for this and praying for this are excited to see that maybe we're getting there. Not that you need cultural validation to believe these things or to live them out, but man, is it nice to see the culture returning a little bit to some sanity.
Well, I don't think it's even that you need cultural validation. You just want to see the family return as the family unit as the central unit of culture, because it's so vital for a successful, thriving culture. That's what all that yearning and desire is for. There's a reason the family unit has been what it was for eternity past, because it worked. It's good for society. And the people that are like, hey, we need to get back to this are like, hey, look what's going on with culture. Look what's going on with society. We're trying it your way and it's not working.
You know what it is? It's a renaissance. It truly is a renaissance. And if we get to the point where the ideas that people did cross over in the aisle or step into Trump world to make this possible. And Donald Trump did that by creating a coalition that was broader than just, are you GOP enough? It wasn't that. He did something that was absolutely transformative for the Republican Party. While this is happening, I remind you, when things start going better, and I think they're going better already, it's going to take some people some time. Your kindness, your welcoming nature, your affirmation of, yeah, I voted for this. Not running away scared, but your willingness to stand up and talk about these things, it will attract more people. You want this to be a true renaissance? Share it, spread it, live it. Do not be afraid of it, because what they keep saying, we are so back. We'll be right back.
Listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group is helping guide you through that transitionary period. This is a specific time frame where, after working for decades and saving, some of you started saving the second you made your first paycheck. You're like, I should put some in my retirement, and then I'm going to go to Glicks and buy some clothes. Other of you maybe waited a little bit longer. Regardless, you've worked really hard, and you have made a great effort to try to put together a strong, solid retirement for yourself. But what do you do at that 59 and a half or older age to protect everything you've worked really hard for? We've all been around for 2008 when we saw the bottom drop out, and you have that in the back of your mind, and you want to make sure you insulate yourself from that. That's where the Retirement Advisory Group comes in. That's where you sit down with Bob and Tammy Kershaw or Thomas Helbig at the Retirement Advisory Group for a free session to discuss what they can do to protect you and give you that worry-free retirement. It's a phone call away, 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, or online at retirementkey.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jim Carafano.
Ukraine has no cards to play here without the cooperation of the United States. Russia has no cards to play here. They cannot win this war. Russia and Ukraine are both at the point of strategic exhaustion.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Next question. It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
All right, if you've got questions that have been burning in your soul that you needed to ask the Annie Fry Show, now's the time to get on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave us a comment in the YouTube chat. We'll wrap up this hour answering your questions. If you are a new subscriber, you have to wait 5 minutes just to make sure you're not a troll. Unless you're a really committed troll, then you just have to wait 5 minutes to troll. Ryan, your question first.
Tomorrow morning, Saturday, you go down to your local bakery. For me, that would be Cruda. You can pick out one item.
Cake, donut, white icing.
I think that was easy. Cake, donut, white icing.
Mm-hmm.
Why cake, donut?
Because they're the best donuts.
Brad?
What do you mean, why cake, donut? You asked me what I pick, and that's what I like.
Annie's correct. The only thing that I would change about that is I wouldn't get any icing, just a plain cake donut.
He's wrong about that.
Cake donuts are the best.
Man, I actually don't love cake donuts that much.
Well, you're wrong. What would you get?
Anything really, probably chocolate icing, custard filled.
Custard filled's good. Custard over jelly?
Yes.
Do you like jelly filled?
Not always.
Is there a donut? There's a plate of donuts outside. Free donuts. There's only one kind left. Is there a donut you're walking past?
Yeah.
And half eaten one.
No, I thought of the question because I'm looking outside right now, and there's a box of donuts, and there's one donut in it.
What is it?
And I didn't want it.
Is it a cake donut with white icing?
No, it's cream filled. I love custard filled so much that's the main thing I want.
It's like a lie.
But cream filled is
cream is
it's
it
overdone.
Like it's just super sweet.
It's like whipped icing,
fluffy powdered sugar.
Yes,
which is what icing is.
Yeah, I just don't like them.
So you're getting a?
I'm getting
custard
a custard filled, usually with chocolate icing.
All right, next question, Brad.
All right, so this one is one that one of you will have to dig deep and one of you won't. What is something that you like about yourself?
I love that one of us is going to have to dig deep about that. Like, I don't know. What could it possibly be? Ryan, you need to take some time.
No.
Brad, you go first.
No. Ryan didn't have to take any time.
He's taking time. He's just trying to pick one.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's like
didn't
spin the
consider
wheel.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
for the record, your beard looks normal.
It's getting there.
Super gray in the middle, though.
That's no change though.
Yeah.
I was worried that it was going to come in grayer, and I don't think it's grayer.
I was hoping it'd come in red.
Me too. Not sure why, but I was. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Brad, no, you started. Go.
You want me to
go.
start?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I like about myself is my sense of humor. I like liking to laugh. I think that that's one of the most fun things about anything that I do is finding the ridiculousness in anything and then laughing at it and not letting it get to me.
That's cute. I would say that I like how smart I am.
So you're good with that level?
You?
Just right there.
Annie?
Brad's got it out for you today.
I do.
Yeah, I
And he thinks it's hilarious.
I do like my sense
I
of
mean,
humor.
he's having a good time.
Yeah, we're having fun.
He loves his sense of humor. I'm glad that I somehow got away in this room by saying, I just love how smart I am.
We're not going to argue with you.
Thank you. It would be worthless because I'm so smart. Oh, there's a toot in the mic.
That wasn't it. I'm just thinking.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite quality? This is a bizarre question.
Brad's are always deep. Brad's questions are usually things he wants to answer himself.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
From now on, you can ask these questions, but you have to answer them for us.
Okay. I got the next one if you guys are ready.
No, I
Yeah,
would
it's like
say
if you ever had a body in your trunk and you're like, what? He's like, oh, I got a story.
The thing I like about myself is how well I feel like I know myself now, and I can be honest with my weaknesses. This is kind of a weird thing. I know the things about me that suck, and I'm working on them. Is that a terrible thing to say about what I like about myself?
You're not even saying you like something. You're just saying you like that you're getting rid of the bad things.
I'm not. I'm working on them.
You have to say something that is extremely complimentary of yourself.
I think I'm very self-aware. Would you agree?
Yes. That's not your best. That's not the thing you like the best about yourself.
What if it is?
I don't know.
All right, now, Brad, say something nice about both of us. No, stop. I'll say something nice about you guys. I'll go first. Ryan, I love your sense of humor. Brad, I love how smart you are. That's true. That's not even a lie. It's also funny. As you can tell by how hard Brad laughed. Ryan, are you in pain?
Yes. Not only was that question tough, now we got to do it for each other.
Well, if you can't think of anything nice to say about me, then now you know why I struggled. Ha.
Mine was all joke. I thought I was going to get through it.
Can you stop groaning into the mic?
There.
That's not
do
an
what you
improvement.
did.
I can answer it. So
See how much of a team player he is.
This is actually, of course, Ryan, you're kind of undermining what I'm about to say here, but anyway.
He's up for
He's
anything.
like,
I think you both.
Let me compliment you, Ryan. You're really sucking right now, but I got
You're
something.
typically pretty good at this, but not right now.
I think this is similar for both of you. I think you're both very sharp, very quick-witted.
Who's quicker?
Depends on what the topic is. I think with humor, Ryan's quicker. I think with everything else, Annie's quicker. But I appreciate.
This is a terrible question.
I appreciate
This is not
it.
going the way that it should. Actually, it's going exactly the way that it should.
Is that
But
it,
now
Brad?
Ryan's going
Brad, are you
slow.
done?
Yeah, I'm finished.
What did you say about me?
I don't.
I
That
think
I'm
you're
quick?
I think you got a quick, sharp wit.
Brad cares about everything, and that is
In a good way.
That is tough to find. Somebody who is you almost, except that he's so dang conservative. You'd almost call him a bleeding heart.
A bleeding heart conservative.
A bleeding heart conservative. You really would. And it's not just our team. Like, the whole office knows that. And you know how I know? Because I just participated in the voting for the Odyssey Awards.
Did you vote for Brad?
I did.
Did I win?
No, he didn't win, though.
But he felt okay about it.
Yeah. And
He was
I
happy for the person who won.
I championed his cause.
I mean, the person I lost to is like, okay, yeah, definitely.
Annie. Gosh.
Do it. Say something
Do you
nice.
need some ibuprofen?
Okay,
It
I'm
hurts.
gonna say
it
this.
burns inside
I'm gonna say
my
this
soul.
because it doesn't always come across on air. Everybody knows Annie's very passionate about what she does. Annie also really deeply enjoys, gets joy out of doing this. And I can tell because there are times that I'm like, ooh, she's really serious, but then she's having a great time.
Now, this after 4 years of needed therapy, I didn't take it.
You're extremely genuine too. Like if anybody ever asks me, because people would ask me this, especially back when I worked in music radio, because it's a little more performative.
Tell us about Annie.
Yeah, tell us about Annie Fry. I'm like, I don't know her. Isn't she on weekends on 97.1?
She won't let us be in the same room together.
But you really genuinely believe the same things as you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I'm not going to say that's rare, but it's good to know, because then if you hear it, you're not like, oh, does she really, is she like playing a part? Is there some sort of mandate coming down from above? There's nothing like that. And so it's good because then off air, I know that, well, you're not just saying these things. If you say it on air, I know, oh, you actually believe that, like in life. So that's to be commended.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you to say.
It took me a while to get there, but I think we got there.
I think you're going to be okay. Next question from me, your ideal wake up and bedtime. Nothing, no schedule, conflicts, or nothing. What is your ideal
wake up or get out of bed?
Clarify. Tell
Well,
me.
there's a certain time that I'm going to wake up almost every day.
Ideal bedtime, wake up time, get out of bedtime. Three
Okay.
things.
Well, I'm going to wake up pretty much every day at 7 because I just do. That's when everybody wakes up to go to school, and then the weekends don't change because we're in the habit. Getting out of bed, I don't like getting out of bed on the weekends until at least 8. I like sitting there, chilling, maybe trying to doze off a little bit.
Just whatever, if it's your world and we're all just living in it.
Yeah.
Which is not actually the case.
Ideal bedtime is like 11.
Okay. Wake up at 8.
You wake up at 7, get out of bed at 8. So I'm getting 8 hours.
All right, Brad?
I think my ideal bedtime is like 3 a.m.,
Mhm.
and then I don't want to wake up until about 10:30.
I was going to say ideal bedtime is 2. I think the most fun happens between about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.,
Mhm.
and it's not what you think. It's like playing Fortnite with my kids or, that type of stuff. Ideal bedtime is 2 a.m. Ideal wake-up time, 10 a.m. Get out of bed at 11. You seem super lazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
those are the days. But I'm a night owl. I could be super functional at night, too. Like, when I'm making shirts for the show, I am cranking those suckers out past midnight all the time. So
I really love the one that says Patriot AF and bologna sausage.
Thank you.
Yeah, I almost wore that one as my undershirt today.
Why would you wear it as your undershirt?
I couldn't wear it as an undershirt today because it would have shown through.
Wear
the
it as an
shirt.
overshirt where people can see it.
Well, it's a T-shirt.
That way it's closer
winter.
to my heart.
That's what I was about to say. It's
Lord
closer
have
to my
mercy.
heart.
All right, send your questions in.
I have one more. Is pudding a dessert that you could bring to a party?
You've asked that question before.
I know, but I don't remember the answer.
Yes.
You can just bring a bowl of pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into judging people's motivations. I don't have to eat it.
Yeah, well, you kind of do. Thank you very much.
Can we
because-
take a break now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Next question.
Next question.
Send them in at the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan are just one phone call or text message away. This is Stewie's direct line, which is pretty cool. You can, when I talk to him about whatever the economy is doing or news or whatever, he reaches out to me. This number that I'm going to give you is the same number I talked to him on directly. It's a cell phone,
314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. When you talk to Stewie about a bagel loan, and the reason why you want a bagel loan is because it's the mortgage that you get for your new purchase, or it's a mortgage you get as a refinance of your old purchase, maybe a lower rate available for you, maybe a shorter term, maybe a cash out refinance. The bagel loan makes it so you pay $0 in closing costs. $0. Just like a bagel looks like a zero. That's why it's called the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. Reach out to him. Make sure you tell him Annie sent you. Google the bagel loan for more info. NMLS number 226715.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds. And most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
We've barely talked about the YouTube live chat poll today.
We did an hour on
I'm just kidding. It's like the only thing we talked about. Do you support abolishing the IRS? Yes, no, maybe so. YouTube live chat poll. That's not the actual answers, but it's like that. So log on and you can vote for one of those three. 1:45 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Join me and the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee for the Lincoln Trump Dinner Friday, March 21st at Old Hickory Golf Club. Get your tickets now and learn about sponsorship opportunities at 971talk.com/events.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's our next question time here. We've got Todd Sivia coming in the 2 o'clock hour. We're going to do a little X's and O's. We're going to bring that back for the afternoon, and Todd's going to come in here and play against our dear friend Julia and get a recap. We're going to find out if Ryan Wiggins still knows how to do this average to well. Your thoughts on it?
I have a very short memory, so
Okay.
no.
All right, fantastic.
I don't.
First question from a listener today on our next question from the Annie Fry YouTube channel, asking if any of us would do a stand-up set, a comedy stand-up set in public. It's asking me, but I'm asking you guys to
Would
go
you?
first. I don't know. See, I don't like the way this sounds when I say it out loud. I think I'm funny.
There's only one way to know.
I know. Well, I don't need other people to think that what I think is funny to think it's funny. I think I could do. I don't know. There's a way that you have to present that. It's not just as easy as standing up and like saying things that you think are funny. So I don't know that I would be good at it. It's something I would maybe consider doing if it was like for charity, and if I sucked, it still did something good for people.
That's kind of. I would try it. I think I would bomb, but I would definitely like to try it and to see if I actually could write a joke or several jokes that would be any good and maybe last 5 minutes on stage.
I wrote for a guy when I was like 19 and never returned to it, never got anywhere with him until just recently. I was like, you know what? Stand-up's such a big thing. And I looked back at some of my old notes, and this isn't from when I was 19, but just a couple years ago, I wrote down some notes like, oh, this would be a good bit. And this was last week, I started looking at this, and I'm like, dang, this would be fun. And I don't know how long I could go, but I've got enough material for at least 15 minutes, maybe a little longer. I could maybe get it up to a half hour. But I was reading it and didn't remember writing it, and was cracking up like, oh, this would be great.
So you found you hilarious.
Yes, I did.
That doesn't surprise
That's
me.
exactly what you just said.
Yeah. Except for I didn't write it down in a comedy stand-up set. I just think things in my head and chuckle to myself a lot. It's the way you get through life.
She's like, I think I'm funny.
Uh-huh.
Ryan's like, I am funny.
I say to my husband a lot that he's lucky I'm funny because the looks will fade and we'll always be laughing together. That's the plan. Bobo wants to know, what's your go-to fun fact about yourself? Mine is officially, or my 2 truths and a lie, so on and so forth, will always forever include I flew in an FA-18 Super Hornet with the Blue Angels. So that's my fun fact.
Man, that's way cooler than anything I have.
It's also way cooler than anything else that I have.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm still jealous of that. Mine would be that I've had 3 heart attacks. That seems to be the one that gets the most shock value out of anybody when I tell them that. They're like, really? How did that happen? How old are you? And then I tell them that I was only 27 when I had the first one, and they go, oh, that's crazy.
They also probably don't know that you lost 100 pounds.
Well, that's usually what brings up the conversation
Yeah.
itself. They're like, well, how'd you lose all the weight? And it's like, well, I had the right motivation. What was your motivation? Don't die. What do you mean? Well, I had 3 heart attacks. So that's usually how that story goes.
Mine is the reverse of yours. I used to be skinnier.
You know, I haven't always looked like this.
That's why. Yeah, my 2 truths and a lie.
Skinny and in shape.
One of them is like when I was younger, I actually weighed less.
Yeah. Mine might be that I used to be skinnier too, and I've had 4 kids. That's my excuse.
Me too. I'm like, I had 3 kids though.
Yeah, twins even.
Yeah.
It does a number.
Right. Yeah. You know what? The one I always throw in that's the truth in the 3 truths and a lie is I've worked at 4 golf courses, which I have.
I hate the people who are like, I've worked at 5.
I'm not
going to
do that. I'm not going to do it.
That was a lie.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to know?
Dawn wants to know, next question, breakfast for dinner? And I'm a heck yes. Mickey waffles.
Ooh.
Oh, man. I'm not only a yes, we did it at our wedding. Breakfast for dinner at our
That's
wedding.
next level. What'd you have?
Yeah, 2007. We had all the mini muffins. We had really nice. It was meat. We had a full spread of meats. I think we had an omelet guy. It was like the full thing.
Hey, are you the omelet guy? No, he's over there.
This is the guy making the
I'm
omelets.
the pancake guy.
Yeah, you need to keep walking, buddy.
Brad?
For sure. Breakfast for dinner? Yeah, as long as it's not pancakes. But everything else, yep.
Chris wants to know, next question, if you could ask or tell Trump something, what would it be?
Shoot. This is tough. Just one thing?
Shoot.
Would you
Ryan
try?
says, shoot.
If you met him, would you try to say something that would be memorable because it's your one chance to meet the current president of the United States.
I wonder how many people try to do that.
I would. That would be terrible. There's no way to do that.
Ryan gets out his 15-minute set.
Yeah. Hey, you guys considered making a Weekend at Bernie's 3? Check this out. That is part of the material. I would say I would just tell him thanks. I really don't know what else I would tell him. I would tell him thanks. I think he's really taken a lot for us on our behalf.
This is going to sound really lame, but one of my bucket list items would be to play a round of golf with Donald Trump. And so
It's a big bucket list item.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
That would be your Blue Angels.
Yeah, that would be my Blue Angels, and I would shoot my shot. I'd be like, "Hey, can we play a round of golf together? I'd love to play golf with you." And that would probably be my big question I would ask him.
Your question is, can I have more time with you?
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't ask then, you're not going to.
Can we get together again later?
Yeah. This has been great.
Yeah. This has really been great for me.
I would 100% thank him for what he's doing and for his resolve. To your point, the things that have happened to him, including being shot, I could just say thank you. There probably should be more to that, but I think the first conversation, which would likely be the only opportunity I had, I would prioritize an incredible debt of gratitude that I had for him.
You know, one of the funniest things you could tell him is say something like, "What's Marco Rubio really like?"
No.
Like somebody else who's around him, who's clearly not the president. He's like, "I'm fascinated with that guy. What's he like? What's Howard Lutnick like in person?"
Yeah, that's really who I want to know more about. Howard Lutnick. I had a question queued up here. Where'd it go? Either of you have another one?
Let's
It
see here.
rebooted.
Oh no.
Info Dude asks, do you make coffee at home? What is your favorite brand? I do not. I go to Scooters every day. I get an extra large, non-fat milk, sugar-free vanilla latte, sometimes with an extra shot if I have to coach something that night, and now with added protein cold foam on the top with no added flavor. My husband told me today, your coffee order is a meme. I said, hey. He knows it, though.
I don't make coffee at home. I don't like coffee. I don't like espresso. Once in a while, I'll get a moo latte at DQ.
Yeah, that counts.
That's the only thing with espresso.
What's your favorite coffee brand? Ice cream?
Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I very rarely make it at home, but my brand is Caldi's Coffee. So that's what I would get at home.
Brad, you had a question queued up over there?
Yeah, this is really dumb. You can pick only one, grilled cheese or PB&J.
To eat one time or forever?
If you pick one, you can never pick the other one again.
So it's forever. Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly. So
Yeah,
we got protein in it.
PBJ.
I'm going grilled cheese.
Man, there's some really good
Did you wait
grilled
for us
cheese.
to answer to pick?
No, it was always
Have you
grilled
ever
cheese.
had an
Savory
adult
over
grilled
sweet.
cheese? You know, those are kind of popular. Where they put other things in them. They put multiple cheeses, or they make it with really fancy bread.
Not just Velveeta?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, all
And
kinds
bunny
of
bread?
really nice cheese. And
Yeah, Jared makes those.
Sometimes they'll
That's my
put
childhood.
chicken in it and buffalo sauce.
Well, that's not grilled cheese anymore.
Yeah, no, it's getting outside the realm, but it's all in the same category. Those things are really good.
Yes, I've had those.
Next question, Tim says, ask me anything. Tag Brad in it, but we can all answer this question too. Who decides who does what in your household?
I guess I go first. It's a group decision. Terry and I talk about it, and then we decide, what do I like to do? What do you like to do? What are we good at? And then we make the decision. So it's not either or.
I don't think we've ever had the discussion.
That
you
means
just
you do.
sort of do it. You just sort of figure out who's doing what.
Have you increased your wife's allowance with a COLA?
With the cola?
Yeah, cost of living.
Ah. No.
I love it when the music drops.
No, in fact.
Your wife who's gainfully employed, I might add.
Yeah, she man, you know what she's good at though is complaining about that. Man.
I've been married for this long.
I know.
And inflation, and I never get a cost of living increase.
She keeps telling me about inflation, and I'm like, I've never heard of it.
False. It is a group effort in our house, but I'm the type A, my husband's the type B. He does all the man stuff around the house, of course. Like, I don't even know how to turn on the grill, the new fancy grill. He made ribs, and I ate some, and they were amazing. But he cooks. I do the money stuff. but the number one way for me to get something done in the house is to go, all I got to do is go pick up the drill and start walking around with it. He starts getting stuff done right away. He's like, you put that thing down. X's and O's with Civia Law next. Don't go away.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I would want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I had lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
Early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars, Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55 in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th. 4 Points by Sheraton, St. Louis, Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Still talking. I'm Daria Albinger, Fox News. President Trump says negotiations will continue to end the war in Ukraine.
Russia invaded Ukraine, President Trump says, but adds.
But I'm telling you, Biden said the wrong things. Zelensky said the wrong things.
The president joined Brian Kilmeade on Fox News Radio.
Russia could have been talked out of that so easily. That should never have been a war. And all those dead people shouldn't be dead, and all those cities shouldn't be demolished right now.
President Trump has ratcheted up his criticism of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, labeling him a dictator. The administration is trying to secure a deal with Zelensky for access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A day after he was confirmed, Kash Patel will be sworn in as FBI director.
Well, he wants to get people back out in the streets, into field offices across the country. He will be sworn in by Attorney General Pam Bondi on the White House grounds. The FBI, no question, has been mirrored with controversy since its founding in 1908 over different points in time. But really, the past 10 years, we've seen a lot of that controversy. He also wants to make things more transparent for the American people and end what he calls, quote, the weaponization of justice. This is something that Attorney General Bondi has talked about. He said in a statement yesterday posted on X that my mission as director is clear. Let good cops be cops and rebuild the trust in the FBI. Working alongside the dedicated men and women of the Bureau and our partners, we will rebuild an FBI the American people can be proud of.
A federal judge has adjourned the corruption trial of New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Judge Dale Ho also appointed counsel to advise him on how to handle the Justice Department's request to drop the charges against the Democrat. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has declined to remove Adams from office for now, saying that is up to the voters of the city of New York. America's listening to Fox News.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The Arctic door is still wide open, but we're getting ready to close it on this Friday afternoon. Sunshine and 28. 15, partly cloudy tonight. Saturday, sunny. Cold morning, a touch better Saturday afternoon. 38. 27 Saturday night. And Sunday, sunny and 52. Monday and Tuesday, sunshine. High temperatures near 60. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
One thing I love about the Andrea's menu is that it's not huge. I've been to some great restaurants that have a lot of options. Andrea's knows exactly what they're good at, and you can tell by their menu because it is basically great steaks. There's some seafood on there, a little bit of grilled chicken and stuff like that, but you need to check out Andreas.com and just see the menu for yourself because you will be impressed even with the pictures. Now, it's nothing like in person. When you go in person and you get one of those fillets, the strip steak, they're so big that it may be the biggest steak you've ever seen in your life. I don't know what you've seen, but I know that when I go there, I've been there 1,000 times and I'm still impressed by the size of the steaks. If you've never been to Andrea's, go to Andreas.com. Check out the menu right now, but make an appointment soon. Consider whatever that next big event for you, whether it's an occasion or people getting together, go visit Andrea's. It's in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois. Andreas.com.
Have you ever been sitting around or driving like you're probably doing right now? Man, I think I need a new furnace or an air conditioner. Have you? I mean, I think about you thinking about it all the time. Regardless of what's going on right now with the economy and with these mandates and the prices going absolutely crazy, I would have to say, without a question, the best time to buy is actually right now. No gimmicks, no tricks. 5 years, no interest on a furnace and air conditioner. Get your prices, get your quotes, get your monthly payments, and then call me and buy now to where you can make your choice and you can still get the so-called inefficient models. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, and your only number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Get a $15 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after rebate and receive 2 times O reward points when you buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
SLU men's basketball is here Saturday at 1:30 on 97.1 FM Talk. SLU versus Rhode Island, both looking to break out into the top of the conference late in the season. Tune in for the Billikens game at 1:30, pregame starting at 1:15.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Hey, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yeah, shockingly, that's the Annie Fry Show. It's always nice to have Ryan Wiggins' version of our intro on the show, that we have wonderful friends and partners and sponsors like Todd Sivia in the studio to hear what he's investing in. That's great. Todd?
Why do we choose to do that when we have sponsors in?
It's like the time we do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if we thought that through. Todd?
Last week, Mike Kehoe was on.
That's what I heard. I wasn't here. We have the governor of Missouri
Yeah.
and Todd Sivia, and we're like, let's put our best foot forward. Or not. Todd, thanks for being in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate you. It is Todd Sivia of Sivia Law, my friend. I've done my full trust, my estate planning with Todd Sivia. Is this? I know you said the end of the year is a busy time at Sivia Law because you're waiting on some completions and rulings or whatever it is in the court system. What's it like in February?
Oh, February is a little slow.
Yeah.
And that's typical because everybody's kind of waiting for their tax refund check.
Mm-hmm.
And once that tax refund check, we usually get a lot of appointments.
Well, I want people to, right about now.
Right about now.
I've gotten my federal and my Missouri, and I'm, of course, shockingly, waiting on Illinois right now. If you're interested
Shocking.
Yeah, exactly. I think I got it. I filed in February last year. I think I got it in July.
Nice.
This is very complicated. If you're interested in reaching out to Todd Sivia, he's in Missouri and Illinois, you can call him directly at 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. You can visit him on civialaw.com right now to kind of poke around his website and see how he can help you with your estate planning needs, any elder law concerns you have. Also works with special needs, real estate, personal injury, business, and online forms. All of that at civialaw.com. You're in here to play X's and O's, Todd, and you are here against our very, very best Julia Bears.
Look out.
Yes.
This is going to be...
Have you played? You've played before,
I
haven't you?
haven't.
Really?
Really?
No.
Never?
I can't believe
No,
that.
I always somehow
get
out of it.
Not today. You're the only one here.
Nope, I actually am.
So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Wiggins, who is the host of X's and O's here on Friday. And Todd is going to be facing off against Julia. We haven't played X's and O's for a while, so let's start from square one, so to speak.
I see. Very good.
And let's tell our competitors and the listeners what we're about to do.
Okay, so what we have is a tic-tac-toe board with squares numbered 1 through 9 on it. You, Todd, and you, Julia, will be looking to get tic-tac-toes, X's and O's. That's the name of the game. But you don't stop at one tic-tac-toe. You keep playing until all the squares are filled. And there could be multiple tic-tac-toes. There could be none, and then it would go to a tiebreaker who has the most squares, things like that. But every square has a corresponding question. Brad and Annie are your experts on the week's events, which is what this mostly is. And you will ask one of them to answer for you, and then they will answer, and you will simply agree or disagree for the square. So that's how you play.
Okay.
All right. So let's get our drummer going here. It's been a while. Thank you, Todd. You can just do that the whole time if you could, please. There we go. All right. Our drummer is here, and so I think, did we determine who's going first or no? Todd? Todd's going first.
Oh.
Show me your way.
Well, I think we determined that Todd was going first because we figured you had played before, but apparently not. So, Todd, you're still going first.
It's
okay.
Todd.
All right. Which square do you want, Todd? And then which person do you want to answer that question for?
Oh, let's go with number 7.
Number 7, a man of strategy. And Brad or Annie answering this question for you?
Let's go with Annie.
Okay. Annie, earlier this week, some phonies stormed a city hall claiming to be employees of Doge, demanding documents related to waste and fraud. They were, of course, faking it, and once law enforcement got involved, they fled. Which city hall did they demand to see documents from?
San Francisco. Francisco. One of the questions that ask me anything is, how often do you quote movies? Not too often.
So,
agree or disagree?
That would have been probably all over the news if I would have seen that. So
I'm not asking whether or not the question's real. The question is real.
No, if it was San Francisco, maybe they probably would have published it, but Maybe disagree.
Disagree. Unfortunately, the answer is San Francisco.
Ooh.
That was
So
correct.
you get an O.
Which means Julia gets the square.
And 7.
Obviously,
I wasn't paying attention.
To Todd Sivia's point,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that story either, but somehow or another, Ryan Wiggins slipped it in the middle of our conversations this week.
Yes.
So it really...
It wasn't headline news.
I have a theory. You put together X's and O's, and then you just try to bring them up through the week.
That's
So
not
that it
real
won't-
far off. I would say a good half of these are things that I was like, hey, you ever heard of this crazy news story out of Los Angeles?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the name. No, okay, I'm not going to say anymore. Julia, it's your turn.
Okay.
Turn.
Brad, you're up.
Okay. Which square?
Which square?
Oh, I will take 3.
Which is the top right?
Number 3. All right, you have stumbled into AI.
Fort Knox.
Whoops.
The fabled Fort Knox.
There,
And
there
make
it is.
sure
I'm
the
playing
gold
it.
is there.
All right. You can tell we haven't
Is
done
that
this in a
Snoop
while.
Dogg?
Hang on now.
Don't answer the question yet, Brad.
You have stumbled into AI.
There you
Hey, all right. This is a real clip
Julie's
from the
like,
week.
now I know I've never done this
Yeah.
before.
This is a real clip from the week, run through artificial intelligence, so it won't sound like the person talking, but you guys tell me, who said this?
We're going to go to Fort Knox, the fabled Fort Knox, and make sure the gold is there.
Who said that this week? Brad.
Oh, I've got to answer this.
So you're saying the voice was artificial intelligence.
So that wasn't
so she
actually
recognized the voice.
Yes.
That's
It was a fake Snoop Dogg reading a real quote.
From a real person.
From a real person. Who is the real person?
Okay. We're going to go to Fort Knox. Well, the only people that have been talking about it besides us has been everybody. So I think, but when everybody gets talking about it, it's because Donald Trump said something. So I'm going with Donald Trump.
Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Here's who said it.
But we're going to go to Fort Knox.
There you go,
Make sure
Julia.
the gold is there.
There it is. Go to Fort Knox. Make sure the gold is there. All right. That is another O. Todd, it is time to catch up. Where would you like to go on the board?
I think I got to go with number 5.
I think you
defensive
might be
position.
right. And who is going to answer that question for you?
Let's go with Brad.
All right.
Brad, you have the day's first audio whoopee. All right. On Wednesday, Howard Lutnick appeared on Fox News stating that the president's goal was to abolish the IRS.
The fill in the blank.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. I mean, this is someone who is focused on America.
All right. What agency is Howard Lutnick the secretary of?
Oh, man. I should know this, but I don't know this. The Department of Defense.
The Department of Defense is going to abolish the IRS.
You go, Pete Hegseth. You do your thing.
If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Yeah. So, I disagree with that.
That's the right choice. So you get your middle square there.
Sweet.
Yes, it is. He's the Secretary of Commerce. That is correct.
For the block.
For the block.
Ooh.
Julia, is back to you. You're on the offense still. Where would you like to
Okay.
go?
I'm going to go with my girl Annie.
And square?
And square.
Let's go with 1.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 1.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
one.
Okay.
All right, Billy
okay.
Madison.
Okay.
This is the other audio whoopee of the day. All right, this is actually a throwback to Senator Chuck Schumer pre-Super Bowl.
I was hoping you'd say 90s pop.
No. We'll get there.
Okay.
This is Chuck Schumer a couple weeks ago, but it was a very, very famous clip, and I just couldn't move away from it. He was suddenly very worried about prices after 4 years of barely mentioning them. He was concerned about certain products' prices in particular.
It's going to affect beer, okay? Most of it, Corona here, comes from Mexico. It's going to affect your guac. Because what is guacamole made of? Avocados, both from Mexico. If you have pizza, it's going to affect the cost of...
What product was he very concerned that it was going to affect you for Super Bowl?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Agree
or disagree, Julia?
I'm going to agree.
Here's the answer.
It's going to affect beer, avocados, both from Mexico. If you have pizza, it's going to affect the cost of cheese.
That was a guess. Dang it. Sorry, Julia.
Oh, that one goes back to Todd. And now we got a game. That was number one. Number one.
Oh,
we got a real game now. Yes. Todd, now what is the board saying?
Help me. Help me. Which square, Todd?
All right. You know, Brad helped me out the last time, so let's go with Brad.
All right.
Okay, which square?
9.
Bottom right for the tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Okay, this would be the first one of the game. You have stumbled into AI.
AI.
This is a real quote from the week run through AI. Won't sound like the person. Tell me, Brad, who said this?
My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one.
Oh, I'm glad I pulled this audio clip. That's the governor of Illinois. That's J.B. Pritzker.
That's exactly how he sounds to me, too. Yeah. Like a liberal white woman.
Yeah, the big joke here is I didn't even run that through AI.
It gave away was that big breath. We have bigger kings here.
Yeah.
We don't even have kings here. I will not bend the knee.
There's a lot more personality than this person.
My oath is to the Constitution of...
My oath is to the Constitution of the state and the country.
Somebody please send the governor that audio.
Send this audio.
Yeah. Yes,
This is happening right now.
Yes.
So I agree.
Todd is going to agree. All right. No, it was not. Now, here's who it is.
My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one.
Said the guy who acts like a king of the state of Illinois.
Tic-tac-toe. A winner. A winner.
All right, there's the first tic-tac-toe.
Nancy Pelosi confirmed.
This
Todd
has
City
been
is a winner.
This has been a big shift in the game.
It
It really has.
Good job, Todd.
Julia?
Yeah, I went from
Yeah.
0 and 2.
Barely on the board to being chairman of the board.
Is that in the set?
Yeah, that one's going to be in. Well, now it will. I just wrote that. Julia, where do you want to go?
I'm going to go with 6.
Number 6, who's answering?
Annie.
Thank you. I got you, girl.
This one's kind of fun, Annie.
I don't like your tone.
This week, we compared Donald Trump to Neo at the end of The Matrix.
I didn't watch it yet, so don't ask me Matrix
Every
questions.
attack. There are 4 Matrix films. The Matrix Resurrections, The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions. Put them in order.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Say him again.
The Matrix Resurrections, The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions. Put them in order.
You've got this.
I don't. In fact. I'm going to say The Matrix is first. Revelation, Resurrection, Reloaded. Revelation, Resurrections, Reloaded.
Revolutions.
Whatever. I don't think it is, or it shouldn't have been.
Revelations.
Revolution?
They just did the last book of the Bible. It was a real departure for this.
The one I saw.
I want to trust you on this.
I would trust that I'm wrong. I might accidentally have gotten it right, except for the names.
I'm going to disagree.
That's a good choice.
That is correct. You are correct in disagreeing, although she was close. She had just flipped Reloaded and Revolutions. So it was Matrix, then Reloaded, then Revolutions, then Resurrections. There you go. Todd Sivia.
Good job, Julia. 2, 4, or 8?
2, 4, 8. Our heads are in the way.
Let's go with number 8.
Number 8. Who's answering?
Bottom middle.
I haven't picked Annie yet.
All right.
Annie, on Thursday, Kash Patel was confirmed and walked into the FBI headquarters. Song originally called Jefferson Airplane, the band that made that song. They had to change their name once, then again because band members kept leaving by the time that song came out. What was the name of the band?
Starship. Put it on the board.
Agree or disagree?
She was pretty confident. So
I hope I'm right, man.
I think I'll have to agree with that.
That is correct. That is correct.
I know 4 songs by title.
I can't believe it.
I know.
That's not your category. You got it.
I knew that. I
It
told you
was
that song
Starship.
has great meaning to my youth. Do you remember that, Julia?
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge song.
Yes.
I must be,
No?
I don't know. I don't know where I was.
Were you a
Probably
middle
not.
high school girl?
I was going to say, probably not pining after the man who was starring in Mannequin.
That seems like it was even before your time, though.
It's early.
Mannequin?
But I ran it on TV a lot.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
And
Yeah.
we grew up with 4 or 5 channels, and your parents left you home sick, and you watched soap operas, Price is Right, and Jenny Jones.
So good.
Yeah, you did.
Kind of explains the culture these days.
Last 2 squares, Julia. Which one do you want?
I'm going to take 2.
Number 2.
Top middle.
All right, this one has a music bed that goes
Who's
with
your
it.
expert?
Brad.
All right, here we go. Just kidding. It does have a music bed that goes with it, so I'll start playing that now, and I'll ask you the question. On the Monday Roundup on Tuesday, I mentioned a certain video game with this music that had been suddenly beaten for the first time ever. More specifically, the kill screen had been beaten.
This is really loud.
Took 44 years for what classic arcade game to see this achievement?
You know this.
So I got to name the game.
The game. Name the game.
Oh, was this Donkey Kong?
Agree.
That is correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they beat the kill screen on Donkey Kong finally.
Well, it's 4-4 on squares.
Yeah.
Todd wins the game with a tic-tac-toe, but this last square will determine who takes the most squares. So, Todd, you get square number 4.
Number 4.
Well, yeah, we've each answered an even amount, so you can pick anyone.
You can pick either one of us.
Okay.
I'll pick Annie.
All right.
All right. This is a good one to end on, too. Annie, USAID has been in the news quite a bit with the overspending, and of course, they've folded it under Marco Rubio and the State Department now, who says the agency thinks they have nobody to answer to. What does USAID stand for?
I knew you were going to ask that. It's the United States. Agency. I'm trying to think of something to make up. I know it's agency. I think it's agency in something, but I.
If you make it up, make it
Yes,
really,
make it
really
up.
funny.
That gets me the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's United States Agency.
Don't even use the letters. We'd really know then.
Yeah. And fraud and
Malfeasance.
agency in disappointment.
Not only not the right letters, not even the right number of words.
U.S. agency in disappointment?
Agency in disappointment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agency is disappointment.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Todd, is that what USAID
I know a
stands
little
for?
of something. I want to rename it, actually.
So, obviously, I'm going to have to disagree.
That is correct. And that means you have a clean sweep of the game, too.
Woo!
total
Good
number
job,
of
Todd.
squares
Good
and
job, Todd.
with
coming
tic-tac-toe.
coming from way behind.
That was a comeback
Quite a
victory.
turnaround.
Good job.
USAID. Anybody you want to try it? United States
Agency for International Development.
That is correct.
Todd, we appreciate you coming in with us, and also thank you for partnering with us in the show. I want to encourage people to check out CiviaLaw.com right now. Real quick before we take a break, Todd, when people are setting up their estate plan, how often do you find that what the preparation that they've had coming into the meeting to make sure that their estate, a lot of people are paying attention to their taxes right now.
Yes.
How much are you able to help people when you're putting together these trusts, these estate plans, when it comes to lowering the burden of the tax law?
Oh, I mean, there's, we sit down with clients all the time, and I think I saved somebody, them and their family, I think over $120,000 just in planning and just thinking through how they were going to handle some of the things, and just quick planning. I cover that probably 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
In 15 minutes, I'll I'm usually saving a substantial amount of money. We do charge for initial consultations, but anytime you're paying for me to sit down,
You're
and
getting-
talk, you're getting
information,
more
yeah.
value on that than the $300 that you pay for.
Yeah, I've heard anecdotes from Todd many times about situations where he sat down with families that especially if they have real estate involved, because you have your real estate license, you understand all of these things in and out, and you're able to, the amount of money that you're able to save, that initial consultation with Todd Sivia is an investment in yourself and in your future, and the peace of mind that comes along with it is priceless. So if you're interested in talking to Todd, you've got your Wentzville office.
Yeah, I've got a Creve Coeur office, Wentzville, Edwardsville, East Alton, Mount Vernon, because we do pick you guys up in Mount Vernon.
That's fantastic.
So, we cover all those different areas, and we're just here to serve the public, and whether you're a business owner and you're trying to figure out tax savings. I mean, there's a tax credit that's out there, and I know somebody that's going to get like $25,000 in a tax credit just for being a small business owner.
Can you imagine just leaving that on the table? And,
just dropping it and saying, "Hey, do this,"
because you don't know.
You'll get it.
Yep. Well, Todd Sivia, he's who we went through. I'm a client of his, and I encourage you to call him and set up that initial appointment, that strategy session with Sivia Law. You'll be very glad you did. Like I said, it's an investment in yourself. Reach out to him at 833-995-WILL. Like he said, he's got a whole bunch of different offices located across the bi-state region, so you can meet him where it is most convenient. 833-995-WILL, online at CiviaLaw.com. Todd, thanks for coming in here. Congratulations.
I
on
appreciate
your
it.
Big victory. Julia, a formidable opponent.
Yes.
She was.
Yes, she was. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come in and wrap up the show here, the second half of the 2 o'clock hour, in just a minute. Don't go away.
You gotta keep them separated.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
What does Del Walmsley, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, think you need to succeed in this market?
It's time to buy, and so you better get prepared, you better get educated, you better get your money right. You need to get involved because you're going to need the financing, you're going to need the vendors that we have available to us. You're just going to need the interaction with people. You need to immerse yourself into real estate.
Start your real estate immersion with a free workshop live online at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating
heating, cooling, and insulation studio. Prices are going up in 2025 on HVAC equipment. Save now with 2024 pricing on a new system today. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com/new.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
News that's on time.
On your time.
Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business. So the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Victim of a car accident? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough to retire? Discover how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey guys, it's Dave Glover here. This one-night class is taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience, and they're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security, paying for health care, and more. There's no cost. We would ask that you bring 3 canned goods that we're going to pass on to the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. So you have 2 jobs when it comes to retirement, in my humble opinion. One is saving the money, putting it away. And then the other, just as important, is how do you take it out and what do you do with it after that? Find out at Retirement Planning 101. Simply call 314-350-8110. Again, no money necessary. 314-350-8110. 350-8110.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is, do you support abolishing the IRS? It's not just a yes or no, although you can give a yes or a no. You can also say, I need more info. I do not know the results of this poll. I haven't peeked at it at all. So looking forward to seeing the results of this in less than a half an hour, 20 minutes or so. So tune in and vote, and we'll give you the results in a little bit. 2:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon getting set to go here. A very busy day. We have Jim Carafano coming up at 3:25 to talk about the Trump-Zelensky dust-up. Also, Kash Patel just confirmed as the new FBI director. We'll have the very latest on that. We get started here after Fox News at 3.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us. Good to have Todd in here and do a little X's and O's. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I forgot how much I liked preparing X's and O's. It's actually very fun.
I think that you did a good job.
Thank you very much. I think that you did a good job playing it. Everybody did a really good job. I'm really pleased with that segment.
There's a question that I'm going to pose to you guys, and we were discussing in the 1 o'clock hour at the beginning, the original segment, the first segment of the 1 o'clock hour about J.D. Vance and his comments on masculinity, and, you know, he's kind of out with it. And I really think that when you undercut men in society, then everything else kind of goes, you have to have that. You also have to have an understanding, you know, if I said like a place for women, people are like, oh, where do you think the women's place is? And my answer is wherever the women want to be, they should be able to do that, which includes choosing to establish and nourish a family if they so choose, maybe while juggling a career. Hi, hello, my name's Annie. I have 4 kids and a career. So it's difficult. That whole idea of having it all, I feel like it's very possible that this seemed like it was a big discussion when I was a newer mom because it was hitting me harder. But have you ever seen those conversations back and forth where people try to assess the value of a stay-at-home mom? They try to put a dollar on it.
Yeah. Those articles come up every now and then.
It's like trying to quantify the value of a stay-at-home mom as if it needs to be quantified in dollars. Like the whole reason you go and do that and sacrifice other things is because dollars aren't what matters. And it's in a society that we live in right now, sometimes kind of hard to say that there are things more valuable than dollars, that money isn't the only measurement of success and fulfillment. And people often talk about women in regards of how a woman will choose, do you stay at home or do you go to work? And, you know, if you're like me, and honestly, pretty much all of the women I know, but not all of them. My best friend stays at home and takes care of her kids. Well, actually, she doesn't now. She works now. She does both. But she definitely did when they were younger. I've always thought that feminism should uphold the woman's right to choose whatever it is that she wants to do, and the man supporting the woman's choice and helping make that possible for everybody involved. But it's not like a family chooses to let the woman stay home, or the family together chooses to facilitate the woman going to work just for the benefit of the woman. I mean, it's bigger and broader than that, but then you have to get into the thought of thinking bigger than yourself. When you hear J.D. Vance talking, as we played earlier, but also kind of these rumblings about how postmodern feminism, which is just trying to absolutely destroy culture, how do you juggle, as a man, the thoughts in your head about providing for your family, being present for your family, being in all the places you need to be? If you have jobs and multiple jobs, like Brad, I know you have multiple responsibilities. You have multiple jobs. Ryan, you're a father with a career and a wife who has a career. How does a man prioritize time and resources?
The resource part is funny because you sort of think about your family, but you're thinking about it. You have to provide whether you have a family or not. So when
even if it's just for yourself.
Yeah. So really providing isn't really a question of like, oh, now I need to become a provider because I have a family. You always have to provide because you have to live. It's just a matter of, okay, now the dollar amount probably goes up a little bit. You got a budget. So that's a big part of it. But that's all a process. You know, you get married and then your budget goes up a little bit. And then, but if you have a dual income, that it kind of doesn't.
Do you still feel, you both are married, do you both still feel compelled to provide for your wives even though they work?
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's weird because the way I view money is really about freedom more than anything else. If you have enough money, then you have the freedom to fill in the blank. Whether that be
Whatever you want.
Travel more,
Yeah.
whether that be work less. And that to me is the key to it's a philosophy of money that if she ever is in a tough spot, like if she's having a bad day at work, I want to be able, I mean, this is almost like a life goal. It's how big and important it is to me. I want to be able to tell her, you're not bound by it. She'll probably never leave. She loves her job. But I want her to know that in that moment, I've got her. And there is something very deep about that I want to always be. It's why I do real estate and some of these other things, because I want to make sure that I'm going above and beyond just working a job. I want to make sure that and maybe that job for you is making a lot of money. That's fine. But for me, I want to make sure we have enough that I can always tell her, you don't have to do that. I've got you.
Do you want her to be doing the same thing for you?
No, I don't. It's fine. I want to be able to shoulder that burden.
If your wife came home today and was like, I had a miserable day at work, every day is a miserable day at work, I want to quit my job, your goal is to say, then quit.
Yeah. Well, sort of. I mean, practically speaking, we'd have to talk through the implications of that.
The adjustments in the allowance.
If it ever got to that point, we'd have to really discuss. But I want her to know that she can lean on me financially and say, you got me.
And you don't expect that from her at all?
No, not at all.
What do you expect from her?
I mean, just a nice dinner. No.
I was going to tell you to answer it seriously, and I just thought, we'll see where he goes.
I don't know. I don't actually know what I expect from her. I married her for a reason. The reasons that I married her are still the things that I look to her for. And
like what?
Here's a weird thing. She just gets excited about stuff a lot. And I love that. If she is not excited about something, I feel like, well, then we need to get you excited about something, because she's easily excitable. So just little things like that I don't know that I'm looking for a return from her on it, but there are things that I love about her that it motivates me to live in a certain way, to seek out certain things.
So your expectation of her and your interest in your wife, as a man, you want to provide for her so that she doesn't want for anything or need for anything.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
that's for anything.
I'm not saying that is everybody's goal and should be. I'm just saying that does motivate me.
Well, and also what you're saying is that's what you're always working towards.
Yeah.
And that might be what a lot of men are working towards and can't quite immediately provide. But even the working towards it, to me, is a masculine man's job to do in a relationship, which is to provide. And nothing of what you're saying, nothing of what I'm hearing is suggesting that you think that your wife shouldn't be working or should be working. It's really up to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I mean, for us too, it would be pray. What does God want for us? What does God want for you? So that's a huge part of it. But that's also a choice.
And you think that in your mind and in your relationship, your wife working should be because she wants to do it.
Because she wants to do it.
It fulfills her.
Ultimately feels called to do it.
And you don't put that same expectation on yourself. You don't feel like you should work only if you feel fulfilled by it or want to do it. You feel it's your duty to do it.
Yeah, and it's actually even deeper than that, because I don't even view it as a duty. I view it as something that is fulfilling. So it's not like, oh, I got to do this because that's my job. It's I got to do this because that's what I do. Like I actually feel better doing that than if I didn't.
But do you feel as though you have a moral responsibility to work in a sense that is different than your wife has a moral responsibility to work. And by work, I'm talking about making money.
Yeah, I would have never put it into words like that, but deep down, I would say I not only feel that burden and feel like I don't want her to have that burden, but I feel like that's right.
What do you think, Brad?
I'm with Ryan on a lot of that. I think that I could quantify a little bit better what I'm looking for in return. You know, I am not in the position that Ryan is in. I am working toward that position to be able to tell my wife if she doesn't want to do that anymore, stop. You don't have to. We got it covered. We're not there yet. I'm still working to get us there. But all I ask in return is to be there. Whenever I get home, be there. I look for, like, whenever I come into the work environment, it's very stressful. It's high energy. It's rewarding, but, you know, you go up all day at 110 degrees, 110 mile an hour, and then when you come home, you'd want it to not be that, I guess. And so I come home and it's like, hey, just be my cheerleader. Be supportive. Be my wife, you know. That's kind of what I'm looking for in return, and it ain't much, but I think it's kind of summed up in peace and support is kind of what I really look for in return. It's not that times won't be difficult, that times won't be stressful, that times won't be that, but that we're working toward that goal of home is a great place to be and to hang out and to be around one another, because we care about one another and we're supporting one another in that sense.
Quick Rick says, what about her needs, Brad? You know, we're talking about right now about masculinity and gender. We're really talking about gender roles. And there are always exceptions to things. I don't think that the quantified income is gendered. You know, if you make more or you make less than your spouse or your significant other, I don't think that verifies you as a certain sex or disqualifies you in any way, shape, or form. But I think the intent behind it does. And the idea of having gender roles, that there will be anomalies, there will be exceptions or whatever. The idea of having traditional or standard gender roles, it's kind of like the basis with which society builds itself on. And then you have one-offs, or maybe, you know, there are a lot of households where the women make more money than the men, but they also could still have these sorts of traditional values to it, but the dollars are different.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel emasculated at all if my wife were making 6 figures or 7 figures. In fact, honey, why don't you go do that?
So that you can choose to only work when you're fulfilled.
Well, that would be her choice.
Yeah.
Her choice is to go make 7 figures. That's fine with me.
Do you think it's, I mean, if we were talking like this and it was 2022, it would feel a lot different to talk about it than it does right now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We've rounded a corner.
What do you think that the antithesis of what we're talking about right now? I mean, do you feel as though there's been a push against the mentality that you guys have talked about?
The push has been back toward what we're talking about recently. And in fact, I would say throughout the Biden presidency, and not to use politics, but just to mark a time period, you know, it is cultural. And I would say that we've been talking about these things enough to know that when we talk about them, there's a lot of people, and it's not just because they're listening to conservative radio. There's a lot of people who will hear it and they go, yeah, that's normal. That's common sense. Even if you don't choose to live that lifestyle, let's not belittle that lifestyle. These gender roles are not evil. In fact, they're rather natural, and falling into them isn't ridiculous.
I know both of your wives, and they're not pushover women. They're very strong, very smart, very fun women. There's really nothing about this, the mentality that you are talking about in your brain. It's like, what drives you as a man to be a provider, if you are driven to be a provider? I think the people from the outside looking in look at that and say to themselves, if they hate this, if they hate the idea of traditional gender roles, they look at this and it's like, oh, you guys are beating your chest like, oh, we're the man, we make the money, and you stay home and do the little house things or whatever. like I said, I know your wives, and I know the quality of people they are. This is not because you believe they have a place. This is you behaving in this way out of love and the utmost respect for the women in your life. Did I read that wrong?
No, that's absolutely
way
right.
off.
I can't speak for Ryan, but
I can speak for Mrs. Wiggins.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. Like the fight against the gender roles thing is so ridiculous because I think actually the people who protest the hardest, they probably enjoy protesting, and so they need that structure because they enjoy fighting it.
Which folder are we getting our signs out of today?
Yeah, so these things they're just so natural that to fight them is like fighting creation itself in a sense. And it just doesn't work out. That doesn't mean you have to do exactly that. And that gets lost in the conversation too. These things are not set in stone. They're just the way things usually play out. They speak to the needs of most people. And if you're not most people, then that's fine.
And I think too, the word empathy gets thrown around a lot, and I think that this attitude that it needs to be pushed against, that they're not happy, that they don't like it, I think it actually comes from a lack of empathy. Empathy is being able to understand how the other person is feeling, how the person might feel in that situation. And when you start pushing back against this, when you start assuming that their feelings in this situation are different than you are the same as yours, you're not really understanding where people are in that situation, and you're actually pushing your views on that person.
I'm going to say something from my relationship, and you guys can tell me if this sounds right, because I'm going to say something that if Jared and I are having a disagreement, a fight, we don't really fight that much, but we do disagree a lot. And we're not afraid to have those disagreements in front of the kids. I mean, we always want to respect each other, but we might see things differently. We've been together for since 2004. How long is that? 21 years almost.
This year will be.
Yeah. So we've been together for over 20 years. But if we have a disagreement, it's very often because, and I think this sounds super traditional gender roles as well. If I was hurt by something that he did or didn't do, I don't think it's a stretch to say 90% of the time he doesn't realize that he did something or didn't do something.
Yeah.
And I realize 50% of that 90% of the time that I'm frustrated and mad about something or upset about something, and he doesn't even know. And then if you're a woman, you're like, and another thing, that's a problem you should know by now. That's only one time a month. So I'll explain it to you later, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll get it. And also, let me know when that is.
You can probably figure it out. What he'll say to me when it gets down to the time, and really later in our relationship now, a lot of times I'll be like, just straight to him, I'll be like, I'm mad, and this is why I'm mad. And I give it to him straight. And it's very coarse, but it's very direct, and we get over the thing way faster because I'm direct with him. And I tell him specifically why I was hurt. And he almost always says to me, he's like, Annie, it's my life goal to make you happy. Like that he's always trying to make me happy. And when he doesn't make me happy, it makes him sad. And I know that about him. And that makes me want to get over the fight faster so that he can learn, okay, this is what happened. This is how you're upset.
The direct approach
get past it.
Works.
It does. Because he knows that when I'm being direct in a way that's to get us past the end. The natural segue is, do you support abolishing the IRS? And the YouTube live chat poll with almost 300 votes, 14% of you said no. That was Brad's side. 28% are with me on need more information to abolish the IRS. And Ryan, with 57% in agreement, say yes, abolish it. Mark Reardon and the Roundtable, next.
It's time again for the annual Apache Village RV Trade Day. Hook up your camper and join us Friday, February 28th and Saturday, March 1st in Hazelwood at 1901 Dunn Road or Wentzville at 971 Wilmer Road for a kids' s'more bar, warm drinks, and free trade evaluation. We guarantee $1,000 over the national average with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. Up to 25% off MSRP. Prices will never be better. Spring camping is right around the corner. Check out all of our new 2025 Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors inventory. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance at $500 to our parts store. Our commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Again, we guarantee $1,000 over the national average with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, February 28th and March 1st. Trade value dependent on condition of unit and time of delivery.
AirComfortService.com. Go to the website right now, and you can learn everything you need to know about making sure that your heating and air conditioning system is in perfect working order. There are new 2025 regulations that are coming in place, and it's going to make stuff a lot more expensive. That's generally speaking what regulations end up doing. The new federal government regulation for the type of refrigerant used in HVAC equipment has prices going up. Manufacturers have had to change how heating and cooling equipment is made. It isn't cheap to do that, and Air Comfort Service has prepared for it. The costs are making new equipment manufactured in 2025 rise up by 20%. Corey Malone and the amazing people at the Air Comfort Service heating, cooling, and insulation folks, they are prepared for this price increase, and they have stocked up on 2024 HVAC equipment to help pass along that savings to you. You can reach out to them and find out anything you need to know by visiting them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, everyone. Brian Kilmeade here with a great announcement, especially everybody here at KFTK. St. Louis, I'm coming to you. March 22nd at the factory on stage. You're going to love this unscripted affair. It's going to be patriotic, inspirational, motivational. I'll go through all my books, give you the anecdotes inside Fox. We'll go over the news, the war on history, and the comeback of this guy, Donald Trump. Mark Reardon's going to join me on stage. Maybe some surprises in the lineup. But most of all, I want to see you. BrianKilmeade.com. Click on tickets. March 22nd at the factory.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A spending wish list. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. The Senate pulling an all-nighter. The GOP majority pushing forward now with a budget blueprint as the House prepares to work on their budget plan next week. President Trump is weighing in.
As long as we get to the same point, two bills. So now, what they approved yesterday is one part of it, and then they approve another part of it. You could make the case you could do 3. You could do 10. As long as we get along, as long as we get them all added up, and it's the same thing.
Speaking of Fox News Radio's The Brian Kilmeade Show, the Senate plan calls for $175 billion increased spending in border security over the next decade. The Trump administration continues to threaten a tit-for-tat when it comes to tariffs on the exchange of imports with the European Union. Fox's Edward Lawrence.
The trade minister meeting today with German automakers.